Hi everyone, I'm Jude Hotep, the goddess astrologer and alchemical initiatrix. This is the quantum equinox, Aries New Moon. Happy New Year. So excited. It's a new year. It's this great fresh feeling. I was going to do a thumbnail that had like grass on it and these little awesome spirals, but it was a little too kindergarten teacher, which I'm not. So I changed it, but I really wanted to do that thumbnail. I might put the picture somewhere in socials or something because it's really good, but Happy New Year, the springtime in the Northern Hemisphere and the fall in the Southern Hemisphere, where the sunrises are happening earlier, and there is just the blooming of the trees. There's so much change and positive forward motion. I know that even in the fall, I get this great energy, something about the equinox energy, that whether it's fall, autumn, or spring, that it is this fresh new energy. So even in the fall, I want to go buy fresh sharpened pencils and Post-its and start something new. And of course, it's that Virgo time, but in the Northern Hemisphere is spring. And so definitely be speaking from this purview, but happy autumn to all of you in the Southern Hemisphere. Adjust things accordingly. But this is the new year. This is a blooming. This is the springtime, and the equinoxes, the equal day and nights to our ancestors. We know that it's not precisely, it's 8 minutes, 3 minutes. You know what? Symbolism. Our world is about, and living life in astrology is about symbolism. Our ancestors understood oral tradition, the wisdom of our elders, and our instinctual nature, that we are returning to being the seventh generation, Pluto changing signs, 240 some year transit, 248. And so it's 7 generations. We are the 7th generation. And so this amazing time of this change, of this accelerated evolution, of this being the time of the great healing, the healing of the archaic warrior programming from the Aries era, that 2000 year period of Aries before Pisces. Now we're going into Aquarius era, this 2000 year period of Aquarius. It can always be shadow and light. We could always do it one way or the other. We are asked to evolve, and we're on this tipping point where it could go either way. However, let me say that it's not going to go the other way. I'm going to talk to you a lot about using your imagination and returning to the faculty of your imagination, ability to imagine positive belief, which is Aries, Pisces, and Aries being next to each other. That Aries is the unicorn of the zodiac, that it believes, it just starts things. It's like, let's go, everybody, let's do it. It's that raw, pure life force energy that without that pranic, that solar plexus energy, that we have no will. It's this demoralization, which is so rampant in our culture to make us controllable and to be herded around easily like sheep. And you and I are awakened, and we are doing the inner shadow work, crying on our knees, or the intense melting down of our consciousness, whatever it may be, the really dark and low lows. And doing that work anyways, facing the past life traumas and the wounds from this life and the wounds of our ego that is being asked with all of this Aries energy, Chiron and Aries and Jupiter and Aries, to be a sovereign ego that can initiate and take action on its own, powerfully unto itself, without the codependency, which is going to be highlighted massively for 18 months come July, when the nodal axis changes from Taurus Scorpio to Aries Libra, and that Libra shadow stuff. We are going to have the opportunity to heal all the codependency and the relationship dynamics issues. But let's stay here for a moment and talk about this Aries Pisces, the Aries unicorn of the zodiac, the positive belief and positive expectation that we really create our world with our imagination. Pisces, Saturn moving into Pisces, that a tree does not become a house without the imagination and the thinking. That's not woo. It's not false spiritualism. It is fact that we create in our imagination into the reality Saturn. And the universe is speaking so loudly to us. All of these markers I talked about in the last video, Constantinople, the 11th canon, the Council of Constantinople, and 869 to 870 took the Trinity, the spirit, away from the spirit, matter, soul, and said, nope, this will only be metaphor now, referred to in metaphor. You can't do it. Really driving humanity further into duality. Here's the thing. Yes, we live in an oppositional universe. Every universe is different, operates on different principles. And if you're looking at it from a much wider perspective, and you have all of these universes and they're stacked up like egg crates, and science has talked about this a lot. And our universe is here and another universe is there, and them all operating in different principles, looking at it from a really widened back scope, you could really look at how interesting it would be, the experiment, the unfolding, the play of it all, to be like, okay, this universe is going to operate oppositionally, this universe is going to operate like this, and so on and so on, and see how it all plays out, how it unfolds, what's the magic you can do, how can you play with it. I always subscribe to something that keeps you in the sacredness and not in the sterility. I heard someone talking about this idea of it being a big computer, and just that everything's just a big computer program and just a big brain. And how does that make you feel? Does it make you feel connected and grounded and loved and in something sacred? Or does it make you feel sterile? Because we've been force-fed, inundated, and have internalized, therefore, have been habituated to apocalyptic movies, doom and gloom projection constantly, and even from some of the leaders right now, unwittingly doing it, not quite aware and kind of realizing what they're doing. And then a lot of people dark, pretending to be light, pushing doom and gloom. And then also the project fear of the mainstream and the dominator paradigm, pushing project fear. And so we've been habituated to our imaginations, imagining the worst case scenario, imagining doom and gloom, imagining apocalyptic, imagining all this. So we have to reclaim the power of our imagination, Saturn and Pisces, to imagine the good, imagine the light, imagine the way we want our world to be, our experience of life. Because if nothing else, the way we imagine it is how we at least will experience it. And you can experiment with this in your day-to-day life by taking one day, maybe you try a weekend or you're a couple of days off in a row or something, and like, I'm going to imagine, the worst day, or how I don't want life to feel, and focus on all the things I don't want and I don't like, and see what your experience of that day is. And then the next day, see if you can imagine all of the amazingness, the world you really want to live in, the inspiration, the focus, the energizing, the doing your big, wild, audacious life, and then see what your experience of life is that day. And really be full in it, believe it, be the method type actor for those days, and really give yourself the experiment of realizing that our brain doesn't care what it proves true, but it's going to prove whatever thought and feeling combination you are holding in there. And so that's the experience of life you are going to have, no matter what is happening externally, the stimulus, the triggers, the circumstances, what other people say and do, the events in the world. So really reclaim your power of your imagination to create the structures and forms, Saturn, the society, Saturn, the manifestations and the life that you're living, Saturn, that you actually want to experience yourself. And the more of us all do that individually, because most of us want to experience the most amazing, wild, crazy, amazing, good life, happy life, and energized, focused, doing something of purpose that matters, feeling in our confidence and our security and our wealth and abundance in just sacred community with other people doing the same. The more of us doing that all together form a consensus reality, affect the morphogenic field, and change reality. The more of us hold that consensus reality, it changes our future reality, literally, not metaphorically, but literally. And so the things that happen in Constantinople when Saturn was in Sag, the higher truths got hijacked, and the spirit got taken out. And then when we had Saturn and Pisces in the 1870s, Pavlov and Wundt got together, these scientists, these psychologists, and said soul is messing everything up in the experiment lab. And if it would have been done consciously, we have science today that has taken these variables out, these factors out of the out of the equations, so that we could get data sets and prove things that seers and channelers and sages have known and brought forward all this time. But we have all the 12 zodiac signs. We have all the different areas of life, all the different people. It's great that we come to it from all these beautiful angles. And so if we would have done it consciously, it'd been fine. But they said, no, you don't have a choice. You don't get published or cited or quoted if you put the soul into your variables of your scientific experiments and writings and research. And so they took the soul out of science, out of the laboratory, out of us trying to understand our world. And that is what has been perpetually pushed as the authority, science, without soul being in it. And then without spirit being in it, way removed back in 869 to 870, way removed back then. And so the duality, the vertical duality, the horizontal duality, internal and external duality, divinity outside of you, not remembering our instinctual true nature of our wisdom, trusting that. How many of us women have to go on the journey to relearn to trust our inner voice and deprogram, dismantle all the freaking programs and internalizations that make us question our own voice and truth and what we feel, what we know, what we see, what we hear. All of us women are on this journey, and we're in it and we're doing it. And it's so beautiful. And it's really hard, deep, challenging work at times. And so that the vertical duality, heaven, hell, and that separation. And again, it's not that I really don't want to espouse God and the devil and these mythologies, Pleiadians, reptilians, these mythologies that are fake and false, that keep us in these, like, some people literally believe these things and keep us in these ideas that take us out of our power, keep putting our power out to some external thing that's going to save us, or some external thing that's going to come and give us the manifestation or the dreams and think. No, we have to take our sovereignty back, even though that journey is space your face, it's consciousness melting, it's blow your circuits out, it's on your knees in the dark, stumbling around and the badlands at times. Even though it's that tough, difficult journey, there's too many of us out here that have laid the pathway, put out the information, that are helping each other all rise together to be supported. This is about finding our community. Pluto's moving into Aquarius for this 3 months, and really finding our soul tribe and really connecting, and stop disconnecting and hiding, and really connect, even though a lot of people won't. But just keep going, get through the no's, because if you have to get through 190 no's to get 10 yeses, get through the 90 no's. Next. And something I wanted to say about that duality piece is that we can live in an oppositional universe without being in a duality ourselves as a species. I know this is a big concept, but if you look at the Arcturians, if you look at other species, they don't live in duality themselves and have all of these things. That's not very helpful. All of these dualistic ideas about things, all of these very polarized ideas about things. It's more of a just, it is what it is. The thing is what it is. It means what it is. We don't need to, a duck is a duck. We don't need to make it mean something. Like, what does that mean? What does it mean that they looked to the right and had that look on their face? It just is what it is. And we're an intuitive being moving into that species, living off of our intuition and our feeling, rather than the ego and the mind dominance. No longer are we doing that. And so we feel and know and can know all the data that we need to know at any given time. We're upgrading our DNA. We're upgrading our literal bodies to be able to handle higher consciousness. There's been research done on this. It's really fascinating that we actually have to upgrade our bodies to handle higher consciousness. And we're going through this. That's why there's all the ascension symptoms. That's why we're so tired sometimes. That's why we're so out of sorts. That's why we have the low lows and the high highs. And so not making it mean something went wrong or something's bad, but understanding what it is, the process we're all going through together, and realizing that we're changing to be able to handle this, handle the frequencies, handle the ability to discern and not think the emotion is ours, but it's just data. It's just data, and starting to understand these are big skills. These are advanced spiritual skills. We're all on the journey to developing them. And this is what we will be doing in She Alchemy, which is starting May 1st. Can't wait to tell you more about this. And I just did an episode on the Light Goddess podcast about the high highs and the low lows of ascension. I don't hear anybody talking about the low lows. And I don't want you to feel alone. And I don't want you to feel like you're going crazy, because I felt like that. So many women I've talked to have felt like that. And so I just did a podcast episode on all about this, and you can get the link below. And I hope this supports you. Let me know in the Light Goddess Facebook group if it supports you, if it helps you. And so, this understanding of where we are going, and understanding that other species don't have this duality of these extremes. They're just living in a what isness, but they're still living in, if they're in this universe, they're still having to function with the oppositional nature of our universe. So when they try to create something, they create many different possibilities. It's like, okay, what I really want to create is this feeling that I want to feel when I have it. So to feel that feeling, actually 3 or 4 different things could really give me that. I don't have to have this exact car or this exact relationship or this exact project going this way. I really just want this feeling of success, connection, inspiration, love, accomplishment, pride, healthy pride. And we're talking about Aries, healthy pride. And so many things could give me that. And so I'm going to create the possibility of these many things and work in quantum ways, quantum probabilities, quantum possibilities, instead of that linear way of like, no, it has to be A to B. This is the only one path I can get there. And then being disappointed and really upset when it doesn't happen because of the oppositional nature of our universe, that there's obstacles and oppositional forces that come in. One other point I want to make before we go into the charts is that this is so profound that 10 to 20% maybe of our humanity, species, society is the narcissist, the sociopaths, and the psychopaths, and the damaged egos. Damaged egos have the possibility of healing, but they just might not really do that work. And they're just really on that gray area of almost like near, edging towards being a narcissist, but not being able to definitely come back to the light and heal, but being so damaged and wounded that they're very abusive people. I had a coach. I went to a consult with her and we did a one-off session, and she literally abused me in the session. I got off the Zoom like that. I was like, wow. It took, I gave it literally a couple of minutes, but I was like, you are literally abusing me in this session. And I had a powwow with my guides to kind of understand more. And it's just, wow. So I've had a lot of interactions. I have friends with damaged egos that are emotional manipulators. It comes from deep wounding, and there's a possibility of them healing, but they're going to have to want to reach for that. And the more of us, again, that hold that reality, that make our world the way we want, create the experience we want to experience, the more we do that, the more those people can't function in this world the same, and manipulate people so much and get over on and abuse people so much, that they're going to have to start going towards changing and healing. I don't believe narcissists will ever heal personally. Supposedly 2% ever heal. Honestly, I'd never trust it, because it would be just like a narcissist to say they're healing. So to be honest, I will never have an ex supposed. I haven't seen that out there yet, but I honestly believe it's probably coming, because there's a narcissistic revolution happening on the planet. Everyone's waking up from narcissistic abuse and kicking them out of their lives, and realizing that if you are in a relationship with a narcissist, you will never not be dimmed down, because when you first created that relationship, the maladaptations and the trauma bonds that happened from the very beginning will constantly dim your light, keep you down, keep you in self-worth, and keep you in patterns. Even if you think you're aware of it and seeing it, you may be, but that doesn't mean you're not affected by it. I always encourage people to go on the journey of what it takes to get out of these relationships with the mother, father, brother, sister, lover, all the people that it's like so hard for some people and some chart makeups to get out of things and release it, because it's like family is this pedestal. But I encourage you to never stay in a relationship with a narcissist, because you will never be at your full strength, full life force energy, because they often suck your life force energy. They often use your channeling abilities. They often are draining you. And in maybe just in micro ways. Some of them aren't malicious. They don't even know what they are, which is almost harder. It's almost trickier. But you will never be at your full strength and your full power and your full light as long as you're in a relationship with a narcissist. And you will never be able to truly heal until you're out completely. I know a lot of people are like, I got it. No, I'm on top of it, but they still got the conversations with mom going. And I'm not putting that down, because it's a journey. It's everyone's own timeline when they can do it. But I want to keep putting this information out there that you will never be fully at full strength and full light as long as you're in a relationship with a narcissist. So realize that, the definition of sociopath: no emotions, no empathy. It doesn't necessarily mean they're murderers and killers, but they could be murderers of soul, which is murderers of your life force energy, your pranic energy, which is basically worse than murdering your physiological body in human form. It's almost worse, because you're in a body and you're like a ghost, vacant, apparition of your own self, not able to have the will to make things happen in life. It's almost worse, and people often don't know what's happening. So it's pretty crazy town to go through that. And so psychopaths the definition of it is malicious intent to harm. Evildoers, the definition of evil, let's take it out of fairy tale realm and understand that it's malicious intent to harm. So when I use these words, I'm really using them purposefully with very specific definitions to help us all understand that's about 10 to 20% of the population that has been running the dominator culture and controlling humanity. There's 80% of us. Yes, many of us are not awakened, or we're really stuck in the programming and really, really, perpetuating the programming ourselves and so forth. But all of those awakening are holding and anchoring in this fifth dimensional reality, this new earth reality that's happening right here. It's not somewhere, it's not out there, it's not off planet, it's right here. It's right with us. The dimensions are all in the same space. So we are doing it, and we're going before the rest of humanity, and it's okay to give people the dignity of their own timeline, but realize we are 80% versus 20. So let's stop giving people our power. And this last thing I want to say before we move into the charts is that the imposter syndrome, the not standing in our voice and our confidence. The people we're often looking to that we're afraid of in that way are usually the narcissists, sociopaths, and psychopaths, because they put themselves on a pedestal. They talk great about themselves. They have amazing self-worth. Like, there's something to learn from this, actually, because so many of us are so busy saying like, no, I'm not good enough yet. There's something I got to fix. There's something I got to change. I wish I would have done this better. I wish I would have spent one more hour with my kid, or done one more hour of training, or taken one more certification, or read one more page in the book. We have to be proud of what we've done in this fucked up world where it's like, hey, it is not great to be well adjusted to a sick world, to a sick society. That is not a marker of health. And so we have to realize the people that seem like they're thriving and doing great in this world, this dominated world, are the ones at the helm. It maybe in small micro ways, maybe only just in their little fishbowl, maybe in big ways, whatever it is. But we have to realize that's 20% and we're 80%. So we got this. We're doing this. We're doing it. And remember that the 80%, it's the oppositional universe. We're going to have the the shadow and the light. But remember, the dark and light are resolving halves of the whole. That's how our universe functions. It's really beautiful, actually. Sometimes it takes the most dastardly, horrible things we go through to have the most humility and wisdom and hubris, wounded, like damaged ego breaking patterns of going through those dark, difficult times. So we are so strong. We are so powerful. Stop letting people make you think that you are susceptible and weak and fragile. You are not. We are so strong. We're so powerful, but we need to build up our life force energy, our pranic fields, and really strengthen it and strengthen it as an everyday practice. All right, let's get into the charts. So, like I said, we've had a massive big week. So Mars has gotten out of shadow. The angels are trumpeting and confetti is falling from the sky. So you should feel a release, especially if you have Gemini heavy chart. This should feel great. It should be less interference, less lack of flow. Mars is out of bounds still, so it's aggro energy, extra aggressive energy, weird things. Particularly Mars types of themes, weird aggressions, spontaneous, impulsive actions. Like, think about it, a great place I like to really see what's happening is when you're driving. You'll see the energies in the way people are driving, impulsive moves into the lane suddenly, and 10 people just all of a sudden switching lanes and doing weird stuff, and people stopping 2 car lengths behind, the stoplight. If nobody knows this, I want to keep letting people know, almost across the country, stoplights have sensors in the road. If you just pull up, it will change green. Please, people. So I don't know what the deal is with where I live, but people literally stop at stoplights 2 car lengths back. I don't know what the hell is going on here, but whatever. But so it's a great place to really see out in the field the energies of the sky and what's going on. As above, so below, as in the universe, so in the soul. And so Mars, this is amazing. It's out of bounds until May 4th, so it's got a while. It's changing signs into Cancer on the 25th, while Mars is at detriment in Cancer. That isn't necessarily a horrible thing because it's out of Gemini. Mars in Gemini, it's multiplicity, doing things so many times, people scattered to the wind, so much data overload and information overload, where with all of this Pisces energy, that this Mars and Gemini energy makes us feel scattered, and the Pisces energy diffuses everything and blends it into nothing, and we just lose the thread before we can get it down, and we have so many downloads that we can't necessarily take action on it and initiate on it in a powerful way to create things in the world. So how helpful is that? So, okay, something I want to do really quickly for everyone, because this is the new year. I just jammed out really fast because I was so excited. But let's open this space. Let's really connect in. Let's have a moment. You may be, listening to this as you're driving, or listening to this as you're cleaning the house or walking the dog, or watching this while you're chilling. But let's open the space. If you have a candle, let's ritualize together. Let's come together and celebrate this new year, the spring, the autumn, this new time, Pluto changing signs, this marker of all the outer planets that are going to slowly change signs over over this decade. All the outer planets changing signs is a big deal. It doesn't happen often. So this decade is so massive. This is the time of the great healing. This is the time of the light returning. This is the time of humanity waking up into their sovereignty, leadership, autonomy, their owning their power, our power once again. This is a reclamation of power for humanity. No longer are we going to be controlled and dominated and sheeped around everywhere by 20% of controlling influences for no other purpose except to control, to dominate. There's no even other purpose behind it. The fear of being insignificant. It's like, nah, we're not doing that anymore. No, I'm good on that. I'm good on that, y'all. So if you want to light a candle, I encourage you to take a deep breath. Let's land in the space together. And my commitment is to not make this video too horribly long. I've been going kind of extra long, super fun for me. The bulk of it is the sun sign horoscopes, which I put the chapters in so you can fast forward to your natal and your rising, but to your solar and your natal. But I really want to kind of try to shorten it down, but you can listen to it over several days. You're cleaning your house, walking the dog, driving, whatever. But let's all take a deep breath together and land in the space together and just really let go of everything it took to be here in this moment, everything that the mind's chattering on, everything that the nervous system was all feared off about, and just kind of just land and be for a moment. See if you can put your feet on the ground, maybe even stomp them back and forth. This is a re-regulating technique of your nervous system. Nervous system likes to know, where am I at in space? What's all around me? It's a gray wall. It's the green grass, naming things. What do I see? What do I hear? To regulate the nervous system that gets dysregulated, often triggered, often in micro and in macro ways. Most of society is dealing with trauma and wounds and healing that. We're in the time of the great healing. What I love about this time, what I'm finally seeing, is such a massive change that I think is a huge marker of the changes that are happening that we can see, that are visible, is that healing is becoming normalized. That all of us have trauma that needs to be healed is becoming normalized. That all of us have wounds that need to be healed is becoming normalized. And that there's answers and people and platforms out there everywhere offering free help and techniques that actually work, that are powerful to help us regulate our nervous systems, quiet down, do some qigong, to get out of the sensationalism of movies and constantly keeping yourself busy because you don't want to feel the emotions and the feelings that really hurt, that remind you of horrible sensory overloads of past hurts and traumas and horrible abuses, flashbacks, whatever it is for you. Let's light some sage together for this new year if you've got it. And I just want to ask our ancestors for their blessing and their protection, and for the downloads of being the seventh generation, the downloads that are important for us for this Aries new moon at 0 degrees, for this spring equinox that is a quantum equinox, this powerful time that we are in. And I'm just going to open the 7 directions. So for me, it's to the east, which is the air and the vision and the mind. And to the south, which is water and sexuality, sensuality, and emotions. And to the west, which is fire and energy and action. And to the north, which is embodiment and earth and grounding. And to Pachamama, to Gaia, to Mother Earth, to Goddess Earth, our planet, our habitat, that with empathetic intelligence, we don't damage and pollute and harm our very own habitat, which we live in. Again, 20%, 80%. So to Goddess Earth, and then to our sky, to our beautiful sky. And I had a lightning storm tonight. It was so amazing. You couldn't not see lightning if you just kept looking at the sky constantly. It was so amazing. It was like the aurora. It's not something that happens very often. And then to yourself, honoring the self, the heart, the soul, the one that came into this crazy ass incarnation, soul concarnate. Clear the mind. Breathe it in. Let's land here together. All right. All right, y'all. I have 4 card decks. I'm going to pull 1 card for each sign. I'm just going to do it mega for this powerful New Year's that we're starting off. 2023, y'all. Let's go. All right. So today and the 21st, when I'm doing this, we have Mars that is out of shadow. It'll help so much. And Mars is sped up. It's moving quickly. By the 25th, today's the 21st here, 28 degrees, Mars will be moving into Cancer at detriment, but out of the all over the place. So much data. The 7 months we've been going through of Mars and Gemini. Rewiring the masculine, Mars cutting away from the old wiring of mental pathways, neural pathways, and ways we responded and behaved to things. And we'll be moving into Mars and Cancer. Cancer about nurturing and security. So taking action on the things that nurture us and make us feel secure and comforted and safe, but not the safety of staying safe. Not be like discomfort is your price, the cost of the value of your big dream. So not conflating security and safety for comfort. We must grow outside of our comfort zones and stretch ourselves. And so, but the comforts of building a security within ourselves of the new upgrades in our physiological body, our physiology, our body, a new security in the new energies of all the outer planets, changing those new energies that are going to be bringing in, which is going to be a lot of buzzy, heady air energy. We're going to be needing to be very embodied, very connected to our feelings and our intuition. So much so. And so that watery Cancer, to really connect into that Cancer intuition and emotion. So Mars, taking action on emotional mastery, taking action on intuitive intelligence. And we have this what's really important this week is, I'm going to go over some of these other things later, but understanding that we came off that conjunction this past week of the Sun and Neptune being our empathetic intelligence, the Sun being our fire and our purpose and our inner growth, our shining our light, and the Sun moving to that 0 degrees Aries mark. And so we are, oh, okay, this chart is, I was like, what is happening here? This chart's not right. I was like, so throwing me off here. Okay, good. This is, I thought I had changed it to today. I guess not. Let's go back. I'm like, what? It's not Aries. No, we still have more Pisces season left. Okay, there we go. And so this conjunction we had of Mercury and the Sun and Neptune, Mercury and the Sun have moved off of that conjunction to Neptune. And Mercury and the Sun are conjunct. They're communicating. They're talking about that conjunction with Neptune and all of that data of the empathetic intelligence from way out in the galaxy and the cosmos and the universe. The all that is. Neptune is the all that is. That information, that connection to soul universe. So in the soul, so in the universe. So in the universe, so in the soul. And so there's all this information coming through from us, but it's not going to be information we're going to understand with our mind. It's going to be information that we're going to understand intuitively with our bodies and our feeling sense of life. We're becoming beings that are feeling our way, feel your way through this world, understanding the data of feelings. It's really advanced spiritual emotional mastery. And it's beautiful work, and we're on the journey of it. The moon in Capricorn and moving towards Pluto, the moon in Pluto can be a little tough. It can feel hard. And then the moon is moving into that balsamic phase where it's going through its dark night of the soul in its 28-day cycle phase. coming up to this new moon. So you could have purges, emotional disturbances, feeling down, feeling low, feeling upset. Nothing's gone wrong here. It's about going inward and listening intuitively to what you need, and to stop running your life off your mind. This is what I'm going to say about this, because we have a lot to go into, and I am already not doing a good job at keeping these videos shorter. So not that I need to necessarily, but I'm always growing and changing here. So let's see. So the equinox is happening, this quantum equinox, and this is the chart for it. And what's going on here is we have this yod to Eros, and I knew I needed to put Eros in this chart. I don't always do that, because this yod is really important, because it's Lilith in Leo retrograding back over that old Leo space, because she's went into Virgo and she's retrograding back. And she is the feminine light. And so we're still sifting through internally the pieces of us that were demonized, that are angry, that are sad, that are hurt. And we're sifting through what we need to release to shine our feminine light, but the feminine light within humanity. So everyone is sifting through this piece of bringing their feminine light forward. Mars, rewiring the masculine energy, the toxic masculine energy, rewiring how we do the polarity of the masculine energy within ourselves, everyone. And then this yod pointing, they have this sextile, they have this harmonics between them, this positive interaction, the positive communication between this integration, this lining up within us, this rewiring and reconfiguring, restructuring within us. And then pointing to Eros and Pluto. I want to show you something here. Stop sharing. Perfect. I'll share this with you. I'm keeping the picture smaller because you'll be able to see the heart better when it's smaller. But this heart on Pluto, this is Pluto. I love this picture of Pluto. It's so great. The heart that you can see, the heart, it's an iceberg on Pluto. So iceberg, fixed water, Scorpio, Pluto. And how we can freeze up with that fight or flight, freeze or appease reaction, where we freeze up, or we just freeze, meaning that you don't necessarily stay in one place, but you're freezing in your ability to respond and react as you want to. You're not able to respond verbally and communicate in the way that you want to communicate. Your nervous system is having this fight or flight, or freeze or appease response. That Scorpio, that fixed water, or the fixed emotions that we never go through and clear out all the emotions. So this Pluto conjunct Eris, this heart, is saying that, yes, we're on our knees with Pluto transits. We're often just beside ourselves. We often lose all of our landmarks. We're bumbling around. We don't know what's going on. But this is clearing out everything that is not of love. That heart and Pluto, literal. Astrology is so literal and so accurate. And so this conjunction of Eris and Pluto, I think, is really powerful. It's not dark enough. And so in Capricorn, where Pluto has been dismantling the old structures and systems, the industrial complexes of education, military, government, corporations, banking, insurance, and so forth, and making us clear, revealing the secrets, and really had intensified it for a very long time as well. And so we have this this yod. And so this is really powerful, really important. This is the chart for the equinox that's occurring. And so the sun in this chart, it's 29:59, you know, but let's go ahead and move it to Aries here. And so the sun at the 0°, Aries mark, this equinox, this time where the days are said to be equal, symbolism that there's a different feeling about the equinox, and it's the fastest sunsets and sunrises. It is, you know, it's the earlier sunrises and the later sunsets. So at the equinox, we have the fastest sunsets and sunrises ever. So it's a really cool time to go out and to get up with the sunset, get up with the sunrise, and go watch the sunset and watch how quickly it goes compared to other times of the year. Connect in to all that is, to your interconnectedness with all of life, and connect into that. And then we have this blooming of the plants in the springtime coming. And so Aries at 0 degrees, it's a new beginning. It's the zodiacal new year. We have this yod that's so important. You might notice all of these green lines everywhere. These are quintiles and biquintiles, and these denote creativity. These denote these provocations to be creative. When people have these heavy in their chart, they're very creative. They're very flowing. You know, they have a rhythm and a drum beat that is entertaining and uplifting and inspiring and creative. They're different, they're unique, and yet they fit and inspire humanity to step outside the boxes and stop coloring inside the lines. And so all of these amazing quintiles and biquintiles are helping us with this equinox. They're denoting in this equinox, not only are they powerful aspects in this chart, but they're also denoting to us all of the cosmic benevolent energy that's flooding our planet, all of the help we have from other species who have ascended already, who are helping us with their journey, guiding, mentoring, and being our friends on this journey, giving us meditation techniques, giving us healing techniques, helping us to remember to breathe through it in the low lows, supporting us, being with us. The information is everywhere. It's beautiful. And we really want to understand what is happening. Okay, I'm saying, like, this chart is not looking right. Man, I don't know what is going on. Okay. How about this? There we go. Here we go. I'm like, this isn't what's right here. Okay, good. Fuck, man. Okay. Maybe this will work. Okay. I think this is finally freaking accurate. There we go. Sun in Aries, 0 degrees. I'm like, yeah, that's not where the moon is. Okay, so at this time, you know, on the 20th, on Monday, and this is in the afternoon, the exact time, but Monday, it's the spring equinox, and we have the moon now moving out of having went through that Pluto conjunction over the weekend and late last week and over the weekend, and then moved into Aquarius and conjunct Ascalpia at the 29-degree mark of Aquarius, where Saturn was hanging out before it moved into Pisces, is this rebirth and this beginnings and this denotation of healing our disconnection issues of Aquarius, our lack of the positive belief. And then moving into Pisces, that Pisces moon can be a little emotional. Again, you know, that balsamic phase, and it being a Pisces moon, it can be very emotional and sometimes a big purification moon. So just be aware if that's what's happening and you're having the lows and all that. And so at the time of this, the moon is nearing that conjunction to Neptune, getting all of that empathetic, intellectual data from Neptune, from all that is. During the time we finally have Mercury having moved into Aries, it is immediate, impulsive, ready to go, ready to have conversation. It's fiery. It's starting conversations. It's starting perspectives. It's starting things out in the world. So this equinox, the energy of this spring season, is Mercury in Aries. That's our perspectives. That is our communication style. We're on it. We're ready. We're initiating. We're taking action. We're ready to connect and to go. Aries just wants to start something. Also, positive belief. So let's use our mind, Mercury, for the positive belief and positive imagination. What also is really important about this chart is the squares from Pallas to Neptune and Jupiter. Not Neptune, Jupiter, Chiron and Jupiter. And this is so amazing. It's a square. So are we going to do the shadow Pallas Athena in Cancer about wanting comfort and security and safety? And so going into those old neural pathways of Jupiter, the old stories to keep ourselves safe, and being upset by this Aries push, by all this Aries energy and Chiron and Aries to heal our issues with being autonomous, sovereign beings, being independent. We lived in a society where we had learned helplessness, codependency, all of these relationship dynamics that were unhealthy, and the psychodramas. We've been habituated to it. And so what is it like to be independent, healthy egos, initiating on our own, not merged with other people, but independent person in a relationship with the independent person, and beautiful connections and relationships? Because Aries is the opposite of Libra, that opposite polarity of partnership. But is it based on two or however many people being sovereign unto themselves, independent and healthy and courageous and standing in their own identity, Aries, their own who you are-ness in partnerships, Libra. And so we're dealing with all the wounds of that, and that security, that comfort of wanting to I want to cling to this person, or be the we instead of the I. Can you own your I? Can you step into that I language and stop doing that you, where we often use this you language, where we talk about, how when you do this or when you do this, it's like this. But that's not true for everyone. Can you bring it back into I experience? Because it gives you back your power, but also it might confront you with your wound. And so are we going to do the shadow of Pallas, which is our deep instinctual wisdom in Cancer? Or are we going to do the shadow of Jupiter in Aries and do the old stories and the old, wounded ego issues, or even damaged ego issues? Or are we going to do the new, fresh, sovereign, autonomous, courageous, initiating positive belief, believing in what we want to experience, see in the world, and what we know is happening? Positive belief, what we're creating. And that's the story we're telling. And this is the story we're anchoring why Jupiter's in Aries. But Jupiter, the thing about Jupiter is it's the guru, but you don't become the guru by not experiencing hardship and difficulty in learning. True guruship, which is just a Sanskrit word for teacher. So truly being a teacher, which means you are learned, are wizened, then it means you actually went on the journey of lived life experience. So many people put the PhD or the knowledge or the fake, versions of authority on the pedestal, when a lot of people don't actually have any lived life experience and really don't know much. Knowledge, concepts is not applicational wisdom. And so consider that with Chiron and Aries, it's about what it takes for us to be in that Aries positive belief, our healthy ego, our identity, our I-ness. Who's your I? What is your personality? Do you have your own unique personality and can stand in that confidence? Aries is confident, and Aries feels vulnerable inside, but it still makes it happen. It still takes action. It still fights for it. It still goes. It still initiates. It's a fire, that pure life force that's excited and optimistic and happy energy. And so the wound of our joy, because these low lows and high highs are hardcore, and it can be low lows where you just can't see joy, and you might not have experienced joy for a long time. And like, how do you reclaim your joy? And it's this reclamation of that positive Aries, fiery joy and happiness and belief and that youthfulness. Or it could be the square being in the, the shadow of that. So I think this is very, very important. Venus having moved into her home sign of Taurus, where she's at home and she feels good about the sensual nature. Venus is love. And in Taurus, it's loving, feeling, touching, quality time. It's not, doing something for somebody. It's not words of affirmation. It's not dropping off the gift. It's quality time. It's the experience of it. It's the kinesthetic, the tactile. And it is all the springtime and the verdure and the blooming of the trees and the flowers and the baby ducks and their little fuzzy fur and the baby bunnies and the animals and the puppies and the babies and the fresh bloom of life within us, of ideas and sparks, and our getting our energy back, our life force energy, Aries. Positive belief, positive expectation back. Conjunct the North Node, our destiny, peace, simplicity. I'm hungry, I eat, I'm tired, I sleep. Simplicity. So get out of our mind and just take a nap when you need it. Get out of your head about what to eat and just follow the instinctual needs of your body. I need fresh salad today at this moment. I need protein right now. And stop being in your head about, well, I had too much and this and that. Listen to what the body needs. Taurus is the body. Listen to what the body needs. And Sedna here in the last degrees of Taurus, she's the bone woman. She's the bone woman that the father tries to sell, tries to just get rid of. She's the discarded woman that doesn't matter. And how the gifts that she creates from the trivialization, minimalization of her, from the being discarded and seen as unimportant. And in Taurus, our resourcefulness, and she's at these last degrees claiming our resourcefulness, claiming our MacGyverness inside of ourselves, our ability to be dropped off naked in the jungle and make it the hell out of there with food and fire and clothing and, a backpack we made out of leaves and being able to go, and our resourcefulness to be in a business and not know, wearing so many hats in a business as a soulpreneur, and wearing marketing hats and copywriting hats and performance hats and all of these different hats we wear, along with our services that we offer and our products that we offer and our healing that we do and whatever we do in our soulpreneurship, and all these hats, and realizing the resourcefulness we have within us to find a trade, to find that amazing person that has the ability we don't, to be able to get those skills, cultivate those skills, delegate out, use the resourcefulness of Aquarius people. We have been spelled in this world to think you're selfish or to think that you are using people. No, when we lived in community and that was just normal, and it wasn't this whole distorted Capricorn, do it all on your own, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, which is not true. Nobody has ever done it on their own, I promise you. Never. Infrastructure of the internet the phone lines. I could go on and on, but let's keep it short here. So, no one's ever done it alone. So that programmed idea, that spell, and the community, when we live together in community, we all help each other with, I'm great at this, you're great at that. I have this skill, you have that skill. I have this food and you have that, textiles to make great bedding or clothing. It's being a resource to each other and learning how to come together and do that again. And we're going to talk about that more in the chart where Pluto moves into Aquarius. Haumea is about the fertility. She can birth babies from all over her body. The symbolism of fertility, of fecundity, of resourcefulness from wherever. She can just make it happen. It's like, I can figure this out with hardly anything. Maybe money would do this, and this, but if I got 10 cents, I'm gonna go to the library. I'm gonna ask someone to trade me a favor. I'm gonna figure it out. And so she's in Scorpio, the opposite sign of Taurus, at 0 degrees in retrograde, with the South Node, the past, the karma, the things we're shedding. What's Scorpio South Node again? This is what we're healing. This is what we're letting go of. This is what's being revealed to us, the shadow that's being revealed. It's all the psychodramas. It's the lack of sacredness in sex, the debaucherous sex that's been synthesized and sold to us, the objectification and sexualization of women, and the horrible treatment of women. And I don't want to forget about men, but we're women here. That this is focused on us women and what we go through in this patriarchal society that we've been through and grown up in, this basically woman hating world that we've grown up in. And it's about shedding all of this. It's about the disconnection from the magical or the black magic. The shadow of Scorpio is the black magic, and how that's been used against people, spells put on people in ancient past lives that they're trying to figure out, how the F do I get out of this in this life? And what you go through to do all that. So we're shedding all that. And then Ceres, Earth Mother in Libra, partnership with these trines to this Aries Pluto, about everything that's being dismantled. Don't focus on that. It's so great. It's so wonderful. It's all focus on the partnership model, which is, if you've studied Riane Eisler, she brought this work forward, the dominator culture versus the partnership culture models of society, and how we have had Paleolithic, Neolithic times of goddess culture times where women, the goddess was revered and was the deity of the time, and women were revered and honored, and men and women lived in equality and egalitarian societies, and fear was nearly eradicated because there was no war, no fighting, no enemies, no things that they were fighting. There was no dangers from things. And so there was a partnership model. So we have already done it before. We've already lived like this. We are capable of it if you need that. But this is what we're moving is Ceres in that 0 degree retro mark. She's been in Libra for a long time. Partnership, Libra, partnership model of Earth Mother, of living in this incarnation. And so this equinox has such important information for us about what this equinox is about. And I want to just cover, I think, one more important thing in this chart. I'm pretty sure this is man, I have too many aspects in this chart, damn it. Let's see, it does go. Nope. Okay. So the other thing is Chiron has a semi-square to Icarus. My brain's not going to do math right now. Pisces, Aries, yes. Okay. So it has a semi-square to Icarus. Icarus, there's a few different threads of how we can interpret Icarus. I really interpret Icarus as where we need a guide at. And here's the thing, it's retrograde in Pisces. So soul, internal soul is our guide. That's what Icarus is saying to us at the time of this equinox. Let your internal soul be your guide. Any coach, mentor, leader out there should be guiding you back into your own authority and your own soul and your own heart. No one should be your source. And so if you're looking to someone else and you're afraid, unless they tell you what's right or what's happening or what to do, that's not in your powerful Aries, conscious Aries. That is in the shadow of being controlled and dominated, perhaps in covert manipulative ways, perhaps in abusive ways and so forth. So Icarus is about the guide, because the thing about Icarus is he flew to the sun in these ecstasy, spiritual blissed out moments of ecstasy, and had the wings with the wax on it that melted, and he fell to the earth and died. His father, Daedalus, was supposed to protect him and guide him, give him the guidepost, give him the guidance. But he told him once and then flew off and was like, oh, look at this, look at this, look at this. And it's kind of like this Mars and Gemini right now. Squirrel. Oh, this is shiny. Oh, this is important. And so it's like this leaving Icarus to have never understood what's going on, these never experienced these moments of ecstasy and bliss, and be guideless. We're meant to be in community, guiding each other, our wise elders. You know, yes, we changed the oral traditions for the new evolution of where we're at now, but we have that guidance to be the roots upon which we have some framework, some landmarks, some knowledge, wisdom that came before us. That's what Capricorn is actually about, is about the wisdom, the wizened tree, the wizened elder that has went through the whole zodiac to get to this place of having all this experience that passes down the wisdom. It's wizened. Capricorn in the conscious expression is about the wisdom. So this Eros, this love wisdom here, conjunct Pluto, and that heart iceberg on Pluto, saying that go, like all of the destruction is about coming back into the wisdom of our heart and love, the wisdom of love that is higher than logic and makes logic irrelevant. And so Icarus means, like, where do we need guideship with our wounds and stepping into our sovereignty, stepping into our autonomy? And what kind of guideship? The guideship that is a soul inward directed guideship. So I don't work with coaches that think they know better than my own soul. And I've had a lot of coaches that I had to let go because of that, because they thought they knew better than me. I let go of one just recently. They thought they knew better than me, than my own soul. It's like, no, my own soul knows what I need here. I need you to support me in my reality. Yes, help me question my brain, show me my blind spots, but don't tell me what my reality should be. That's for me to create and decide. And my soul is the one that knows what's right there, not somebody else. That's probably in their mind. So that's what I think is so powerful and important about this chart. I hope this supports you in this. And then we're going to move on to the new moon, and I will be. And so we'll move into the next chart. Something else I want to do for this new year. Let me stop share. I pulled a gene key for us. Been doing that every session, helping you understand astrology through the gene keys. And excuse me. Let's see, share my screen. And here we go. I pulled one randomly and I just said, hey, let it be for this Aries New Moon situation we got. and this equinox, and what was it? And I love it that it's valor. This is the higher expression You can just ignore this piece at the moment. The shadow is control. But when we're in the control, trying to control everything and everybody in life and all the circumstances, and so trying to control the circumstances, which we so often can't control a whole lot of circumstances often, can only control our thoughts, feelings, and actions. And then we get the gift of authority, meaning that we find our own inner authority, not based on trying to control other people, but we go through trying to control other people and things in life. But then we find the gift of our true authority, of our own sovereignty, independence, Aries, and the valor. The valor is so Aries word. It's such a great Aries word, that honor, that something higher, that and the words authority and control, they probably don't feel that great with our current dominator culture. But let's take the positive form of authority, which is Saturn, authorship, authoring your life, your inner authority, versus external controls, external voices telling you what to do, what your inner soul say. And the gift of finding your own inner authority and authoring your life and letting go of controlling everything, but operating from an inner sense of self, Aries, a sense of a compass from within. I know my no, I know my yes. If you deal with the Aries, they know what they like and they know what they don't. They know they don't like cheese on their salad, or they know they want orange juice instead of Coke. It's like they know what they want, and they're just very assertive about it. And a lot of people can be like, oh, that's rude. But no, actually, it's just, I just know what I like. What's the issue about it? Right. And then the valor, the honor. And I love it how it talks about chivalry, of moving from that archaic warrior dominator culture paradigm, manipulation and control, to chivalry, real chivalry, which isn't a male female thing necessarily, but that's something really wonderful, right? And where is that for you in your life? How does that show up? What's the chivalry of listening to what your body needs when it needs it, even if it's not in line with the schedule and other people's ideas about how life should supposedly be ordered? The authority of submission, which is interesting. Submission of control, like not submitting to another, but submission of control. I mean, this would be a lot to sit and contemplate. And that's what these gene keys are for, to sit and meditate on them and allow the information to come to you. Gene keys are a beautiful thing. I'd really sit and possibly choose to meditate with this Gene Key 21. You can look it up on genekeys.com. The demise of hierarchy, control, the shadow control, the demise of hierarchy. That's what we're going through with Pluto in the last degrees of Capricorn and this time period of Pluto and Capricorn, the demise of a hierarchy. And so really fascinating. I think this one, I'm going to have to give that some thought, to be honest. Nothing's really coming up for me at the moment. I'm like, I gotta let that rattle around my consciousness. So I hope you find this fun. This is a great way to understand the signs, planets, that there's the shadow, and then there's the gifts of moving away from that shadow into trying to go towards the highest essence, the samadhi, the enlightenment, the higher echelons, the ascension. Although I don't think of ascension as enlightenment, because it's like we're just moving into the fifth dimension. All the dimensions have their different experiences. The 10th dimension typically is no longer having a body, a form, a physical form, and just being like light particles and waves and so forth. But in the fifth dimension, we still have a form. It's just not the form as we know it in the 3D. In the third dimension, it's different. And so really kind of understanding the dimensions in a better way. And I love this wisdom. And so inadequacy, feeling inadequate. I was just talking about that earlier, like feeling like you're just not good enough. And the gift in working with that shadow is to find your what? Resourcefulness, that Taurus, that Sedna in Taurus. Being discarded, like this inadequacy, that Taurus resourcefulness, which then gives you wisdom because you go through experience. Because to be resourceful, you must go through the experience of lived life lessons and learnings and figuring it out for yourself and navigating through and walking through the brambles and trying to think that you're on a trail and you're in a riverbed that's dried up and you're like, why is like a flat piece of land so hard to navigate? Because of all the colors, like in Sedona in the desert, and there's all these colors, and it's like, I actually can get lost on a flat piece of land. Like, how is that possible? But apparently it is. So so I hope that helps you look at that. We'll move to the new moon, go over this. And then I cover so much astrology on my TikTok at the Goddess Astrologer, and cover so much astrology in the Light Goddess Facebook group, which is being reactivated over these 4 weeks or so rather. And so be rolling out more engagement and activity there. You'll see me more there. And so hang in there as I'm just rejuvenating that container and filling it with light and getting people involved and putting some great things in there. There's 36 hours of free masterclass content in there. So please take advantage of that. All right. So this new moon chart, new moon, new beginnings. So as you may know, I've talked about these new moons that we've had, 7, I'm pretty sure. I went over it at the last full moon video in Virgo, that we've had 7 new moons at 1 degree, new beginnings in each of those archetypes of those signs. And now it's 0 degrees, new beginning, and then spring equinox, new beginning, zodiacal new year, new beginning. All of these beginnings mean that there's falling away, completions. We just went through that massive Virgo full moon, and all of those purifications of the Pisces energies, the completions, the sadnesses, the shadows churning up, and the challenge a lot of times with Pisces energy, all that karma coming back. And so churning up, arising to be released and sifted through and healed, looked at. And so this powerful new moons mean it's always conjunct the sun. It's always conjoined with the sun, and it's this Aries energy, opposite Earth Mother and Libra partnership, moving to a partnership model of living on this planet, of society, of culture, and out of the dominator model. Rianne Einsler's work is excellent for understanding the dominator culture versus partnership model of society and culture better. If you want to dig into that work, I want to give you resources and information so that you feel like you have knowledge and information. And what is really important about this is we have this semi-square that I talked about before of Chiron to Icarus, saying, hey, we need to trust the guide, Icarus, of our inner soul, and not be following something outside of us that's going to be all over the place and not giving us correct guidance. So anyone helping us in our life should be directing us back into our own soul and heart. And that semi-square meaning that it's a provocation. It's a, are we listening inside, or are we in our minds trying to run our life from our mind? Realize that we're predisposed to do that. We have the natural propensity to do that when we're backed up against the wall emotionally. When we're on autopilot, we'll go into our mind. We'll live from our mind. We'll be in our mind. Mental plane. And there's so much in the world that puts us in our mental plane. And an often response of the fight or flight freeze or appease, PTSD, nervous system response can be to go into the mind to protect ourselves. So realize as a woman that you may have gotten into the habit of going to the mental plane to keep yourself safe and protect yourself and out of your body, because in the body felt like you could feel all the feels of the domination and the patriarchal, like woman hating feels, and the traumas and the abuses and the minimization of yourself. And so realize that you may have some propensities there to just be in the mind. So going into the feeling self, mastering our emotions, and this Chiron about any sort of wounds that we're dealing with, to stand in our independence and that positive belief. What is the issue with your positive belief? How can you find what is standing in the way of your positive belief? Because Aries is about positive belief. So this new moon, planting seeds. What is your highest intentions for this new year to next year, Aries season, this 2023? What do you want to see? That's different than just like, I want to make this goal of this mundane life thing. But what's the something higher, something more amazing, something more audacious and beautiful and wild, more connected to soul and spirit? As Scorpio here, conjunct Saturn and Icarus, is helping us with healing and rebirths. So very powerful. And what's really amazing is that we have Cheroklo, which she is Chiron's wife, partner, and in Aquarius is holding space for the collective. And she has this amazing quintile to Diana and Erisina, definitely on this bandwagon of Erisina, that Heather Ensworth has brought this information through in many presentations. You can look at her work where she talks about that this asteroid was originally named Xena after the warrior princess that, was fighting everyone for all the horrible things that she'd went through and that were done to her family, and then realized like, I'm just like they are, and woke up and it's like, I have to come back to love in my heart. And that this planet doesn't operate on the ecliptic, and so it's out of the status quo, and it is often in a community of other asteroids, and so it's in community. It's out of the status quo in the mainstream, and it's a warrior princess, it's a warrior priestess and woman, fighting for love and the good. And in Aries, we've all been born with her in Aries. It's like, where is Erisina in your chart? So it'll tell you where you are supposed to be courageously bold in that house of your chart. So wherever that is for you, it's where you are meant to be courageously bold and standing up in our positive belief. And Goddess Diana is Goddess Artemis, and really saying that she's for sisterhood. She's for sharing resource, being in partnership with other, being in female community. She fights for her sisters. She stands up for women. She is unto herself independent, and she's excellent. She's highly skilled at all the things she loves. She's excellent at them, and she excels at them. And so this quintile is this really this amazing, like, holding space for humanity, for female sisterhood to come back online, where our wisdom will come back online, where we're holding space for all of humanity to step into its sovereignty, leaders amongst leaders, to step into our power, to get out underneath from all of the control mechanisms, the internalizations, the socialization, the programming, our family, narcissists, abusers, old wounds, trauma, being triggered all the time, and just getting good people out of our lives because we're not doing the inner work. Things like this, so important. What's really important also is to realize that we have Uranus that has moved off the world point, but is still at 16 degrees close to that world point. It's lightning, it's earthquakes, it's rumblings, it's sudden shocks and reversals, and it's cosmic consciousness. And so it's this cosmic flood of consciousness that's busting up the status quo, that's busting up the old ways we lived, where we are in the depression era of like, I gotta save everything, the canned goods and all the stuff, because like, oh my God, I gotta have all the food for later. It's like, no, I'm resourceful Taurus to handle life as it comes. The instinctual nature teaches us that I can face challenge as it arises. One of my favorite quotes by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. So this sextile to Pallas and Cancer, saying we can get our security from our intuitive wisdom, that our security comes from our intuitive wisdom, not from saving things, external things, making sure we have the house and the closed doors. No, I can be in a tent, or I can be al fresco, I can be underneath a beautiful night sky, I can be walking, I can go into the world on this grand adventure and be secure in my intuitive wisdom, Pallas Athena. So really important aspects there. So these trines to Saturn and Asclepia from Haumea, this asteroid of the new age, new era, new time, is about this fecundity, abundance of imagination, creating society, healing, intuition, creating our society now being based upon our healed selves, our intuitive guided selves, no longer from a people ruled by the mind and the ego. And that's what Saturn and Pisces is all about. There could be some restrictions on soul coming down the pipe from different areas, but it's a catalyzing of healing and living from our intuition and realizing, reclaiming our imaginations to create Saturn, our world out there, our structures, our forms, our actual tangible life, and to imagine what we want it to be, and to know that with Pisces, you can dissolve things really easy. And so that we can, try to manifest something and then dissolve it and try again and keep with that Aries positive belief. There's so much Aries, Pisces in the chart, the Pisces of soul, and being able to manifest, imagine, and then dissolve, imagine and dissolve if it's not what we want, but then the Aries of positive belief and going for it, shining your light. So beautiful here. These squares, it's it's the destruction and dismantling the old system. There may be complications to feeling abundant, to feeling like you're fertile, to feeling like you can create it. And just realize that that is about growth, of where do I need to grow? It means that you need to do Taurus, the opposite of Scorpio, and grow in your resourcefulness, which, as we looked at that gene key, if we hit that for a minute and go back there, if we look at this gene key, that the resourcefulness turns into wisdom because of our lived life experience of figuring out, of becoming resourceful, of using our resourcefulness. So like resourcefulness, does that make sense for you? Like it's like, well, you're traveling and you have a tire issue on the road. Well, you're the resourcefulness of being able to connect with other people and say, hey, do you know someone in town that might be able to come back and give us a tow? And we just need to, get this baby to the tire shop. And can you connect with me right now? Trusting your intuition and being resourceful. And then, having that beautiful interaction, maybe a wonderful connection, and then you connect and go out to dinner or something. And then, your vehicle gets fixed, and then you find a lifelong friend and you never even know. It's like so much wisdom comes from this, of seeing how strong you actually are, how much you are capable of, how much you do, and that you have within you. Maybe you're having a massive health crisis and health issue, and you are calling the doctors, finding out things, going to the information, making appointments, doing so much, delegating out, doing things you've never done before, and taking it on and making it happen. All that Aries energy, even though it's uncharted territory for you, and all the wisdom that you gain on this journey, that at the end you have this highest expression of wisdom after that. So if we stop share, go back to the chart. Go back to share. So this understanding of this is understanding your resourcefulness of this tension of the patriarchal old world, the dominator culture old world, the toxic masculine old world, giving you issues or coming up or being triggered, or the wounds, like just even going on a date with somebody who's really got the internalized patriarchy still active, and the trauma that can really trigger within you. Different experiences like this, or being in a job or being in a situation where you're dealing with these old power structures that are just, being dismantled and breaking down, that we're seeing. And so it's like, how can you be in that Taurus resourcefulness to deal with the shadow? So understand that. So this new moon also has this challenge between, listening to our soul inwardly, having the guide of that. Like maybe we don't have experience with it yet. Maybe we don't know how to do that. Maybe we keep getting stuck in our head. Maybe we don't have good coaches or friends or somebody in our life at this moment in time. And being in the warlike responses and reactivity, trying to just keep protection, and just really having this internal battle of wanting to feel comfort and feeling secure, and really needing guides, or learning how to trust our soul and our guides, and the people in our life that are on track, that are aligned, to help us have landmarks when we need them, and ideas and points of direction and frames of reference. So really beautiful, where we have Juno and Venus conjunct at this new moon, and with this biquintile to Ceres, Earth Mother, and partnership, model of society, culture. Juno, our relationships, and Venus, our love, in the sign of Taurus, embodiment, experience, kinesthetic, the earth, love for our body, love for the earth, being in partnerships. It's an exact conjunction at 5 degrees, being in partnerships that are of love. And what does that look like? And we're not talking about infatuation love or biological cave woman, caveman love. We're talking about the higher soul love of all that is. And have you experienced that yet? What's unconditional love? Have you experienced unconditional love? So many people have not experienced unconditional love and acceptance. And so this is so much flow, and maybe love activations happening, maybe cosmic energy coming down. Just if you can get into your heart and also realize, like, what do I love, and go towards what you love. Don't do what you don't love. Don't do what you don't love. Don't be in relationships where it is loveless, where it is unloved, where you don't feel good, where you are not yourself, where you are dimming your light, where you feel like you're walking on broken eggshells, where you feel like if you say the wrong thing, the other person's going to freak out and get triggered and leave you. Go ahead and leave, because that is not supporting you, nurturing you, uplifting you. That's not of love. That's not the highest expression. Juno and Venus conjunct at this new moon in Aries at 0 degrees in this massive new beginning is incredibly important. Venus is love. It's what we're impelled for, our deepest desires. And Juno's about partnership. And so partnerships coming from embodiment, both people embodied, both people present there, to like inside themselves, grounded. That Taurus, grounded, of quality, of worthiness. What's worthy to you? Relationships that are worthy, that are of high quality, that lift you up, support you, nurture you. And so Venus is about having abundance mentality, getting out of shortage mentality, getting out of this shadow Taurus, saving, hoarding. What if I don't have later? That lack vibes, lack mentality, and getting into the Venus of the having energy. It's a having energy. It's an attraction, magnetism energy, attracting to you that magnetism of what makes you feel good in your body, because we're in a body, of what makes you feel good, of what you love, the magnetizing what you love, what makes it feel good and worthy to be embodied here on the earth, Taurus. And so important at this time. And so with Uranus, with this sextile to Pallas Athena, you know, our intuitive wisdom guiding our security, and Uranus that shakes things up and twists things on its side and is a surprise and is an unexpected, and how, you know, in Taurus, we're learning how to be resourceful with the unexpected, the surprises, the moment to moment, to be in the moment. Anicca, be in the moment to moment, that knowing that you can respond to challenge as it occurs, stop bracing for the bad, and expect that positive belief of the Aries good and what you want to experience and what you're going to create. And then just a powerful, massive new moon. What are we doing here? Stop it. Okay. And the ruler of Aries is Mars and Gemini. We went through Mars out of bounds. So left field, so out of bounds could be, you know, weird, odd things or aggro energy, but out of bounds means it's off the ecliptic. It means that we're not doing the status quo. It's great. It's happening until May 4th. And so what we're doing with this Mars and Gemini is all of the integrating of the right and left hemispheres of the brain, turning on the right hemisphere of the brain that's been turned off for so much of our lives, that has been submissive, that has been dominated by the left brain, logic supposedly being the highest when it's not. And here, let's look at this to show this. Let me just stop share, go to this real quick, and I'll show you this. There we go. And what I'll show you is that if you look at the map of consciousness, that's been a kinesiological logarithmic scale based upon millions of kinesiological tests, that we see that love, unconditional love, which is 540 here, love is said to be 500 and joy 540, but this is actually unconditional love 540. And so love is above reason. And when Einstein and other well-known intelligence, you know, prolific scientists who have really added to our world, they were at 499. So they were right under love when they were kinesiological tested at where they were at in the map of consciousness. So love makes reason irrelevant because it knows more, because it's more intelligent, because love is all that is. Love is the all that is, and the all that is going to be the highest of intelligence. And love is the heart, and that heart coherence is how we're going to have the life force energy to actually move and shift into the fifth dimension and out of this denser reality. And so, you know, I had the question about love and about how, well, why just love? You know, there's malevolent beings in the fifth dimension and in the sixth dimension. And so there's malevolence in the universe. Okay. So why is it love supposedly that makes us shift into the fifth dimension? It's love that invigorates our life force field, our pranic field, our life force energy, our solar plexus, that actually gives us the energy to ascend dimensions. It is love. It is love that is the higher intelligence. It is love that understands all. It is love that we're always seeking. It is love that feels so good. It is love that we want. It is always some version of love that we're really seeking. And so realizing that it's higher than logic, it's higher than the mind. You know, understanding feels great, but reverence and honor feels amazing. Love, serenity, joy, bliss, peace. It feels so amazing. At this level of unconditional love, you feel complete. The view of life is complete. The view of life at this level of what we call enlightenment, which I don't think is always the best word, but this is what Jesus, the Buddha, was said to be at, calibrated at. I'm guessing that actually we're off the scale, but life just is. It just is. It's not something we judge, we think about. And that's where fifth dimensional beings that are benevolent will like, they're not arguing about what we're arguing about on the earth and always be like, no, I know this and you know that. Like, to them, it's just a consensus reality. They've got other things they're working to evolve on. But a lot of the things, it's like they've already gotten to that advancement in their society where those are just a given to them. They're just an is. Whereas we're still trying to arguing about all of these pieces and trying to understand them for ourselves to become autonomous individuals, but often so at odds with each other in ways that are so unnecessary that to them it's like, what are these people arguing about? You know, it's just, it's nothing, but it's part of our journey and it's okay. It's not an issue. So, you know, dark and light are resolving halves of the whole. So this Aries new moon, ruled by Mars and Gemini, which is, oh man. Let me just change this. Too much here. Okay. Here we go. Okay. What is important here? Oh, I can't do math right now. What's happening? I'm having like some massive Neptune transits going on, like a lot of Pisces right now happening for me. So this Mars is having such an important connection to Jupiter with this quintile, and it's our stories, it's our beliefs, and we talked about that already, and so I'm not going to go into it. This Mars in Gemini is the ruler of this new moon, saying that we've gone through the cutting away of the old neural pathways and the old patterns and rewiring our masculine energy to not be running on the toxic masculine energy anymore. And it's sped up, it's ready to go, it's moving forward, it's out of shadow, it's at its normal speed, and going to be moving signs. And with this quintile to Jupiter, positive belief. Jupiter is the gregarious, like happy, like let's go, expansion, growth, adventure. And it's an Aries about initiating the adventure. And so this new moon ruled by Mars, where we've done the cleanup, and is a quintile to Jupiter saying initiate the adventure, with Juno and Venus conjunct at 5 degrees of Taurus. So amazing new moon here. We'll move to this last chart. And Pluto then after the new moon on Thursday, the 23rd of March at 7:23 and 23 seconds is moving into Aquarius, conjunct Eros at 29 degrees Capricorn, the wisdom coming from love, conjunct Pluto now in the sign of the collective community, the quantum, the cosmic consciousness, science and technology. Pluto intensifies whatever it touches. So science, technology, things are going to ramp up. You're going to have option points. You're going to have choice points. Do I want to put a chip in my arm? Do I want Amazon to deliver everything in my house? What's convenient today is control tomorrow. Really think about this. Amazon can be so much less expensive, maybe, than things, but have we actually checked everything out? And is it less expensive down the line with the control of a monopoly? It's already a monopoly. It's already a monopoly. I can't tell you that a lot of the benefits I derive from it, but we got rid of monopolies back in the day because we knew not only does it push out mom and pops, that push out small businesses, push out people that add diversity to the marketplace. That's beautiful. But also it's a control, it's a domination. And if you can only get your goods from one source, then what? So Aquarius is this bartership, communities, resourcefulness amongst each other, coming back together and living in communities and getting all of our needs met through each other once again, and how that's going to look, how the economy is going to look. So it's an intensification of science and technology. It's an intensification of, you could say disconnection maybe will be intensified during this 3-month period where people are just disconnecting. It's just shadow of Aquarius, the revolving door people. But also what Pluto's doing is revealing the secrets of the technology and science. All of the hidden things are going to be coming to light, coming to the surface, coming visual, the disclosures. And also, we're going to be purifying Pluto, everything that's not of love, and the Aquarius archetype, which is our collective humanity, our community, the way we relate, the way we connect to each other, the connection to the cosmos. That's all going to be purified, which is not always the easiest thing. But with Eros here, it's saying, let's use the wisdom of love to go through this 3-month period. We haven't experienced this before, so everyone's going to respond differently. So we're going to be really in this new place collectively together. And there is a trine, a harmonic aspect to Earth Mother in Virgo, about healing Earth Mother, healing our earth, healing our connection to Mother Earth, healing the land, the air, the water, the collective coming together, the collective, and Pluto, the healing, the transformation, the destruction of the healed of the earth that needs healed once again to live in to not be destroying our own habitat with which we live, that empathetic intelligence, this very strong quintile to Lilith in the sign of light, Leo, the sign of love, Leo, to the South Node and Haumea, and the past, the wounds, the debauchery, the depravity in our culture, the darkness, sex trafficking, abuse, narcissism, control, domination, sex without sacredness, which frankly is sex without pleasure. I don't know who has been having pleasurable sex in this archaic warrior programming that we've been in, because if men think that they've been having great sex, they don't understand the difference between a climax and an orgasm. Most men don't know that. And so it's like, can we bring back the sacredness of sex and real pleasure that's connected to the all that is, and understand our sexual powers to be retained for our life force energy to be utilized? And that's part of our life force energy. And that's why sex got the sacredness got taken out of sex, because that's where evil can enter the door and just like completely dissolve our life force energy. So we don't have the will to fight. We don't have the will to stand up into our authentic self, into our autonomy, and to go through the difficult things we have to go through in this world to be where we're at today, and all the changes and the healing and all the transformation over the next 10 years and so on. So really important things we're going through. And the North Node quintile, just hanging out at that 4-degree mark to Pallas Athena, our instinctual wisdom around how we do security with that quintile to Taurus, and simplicity, peace, love, the wise, resourceful earth, the resourceful self, the valued, self-loved self, the loved self, the embodiment of our instinctual wisdom and the security that comes from within. What else is really important about when Pluto is moving into Aquarius is Saturn, the ruler of Aquarius, one of them, at 1 degree of Pisces, soul. So this Pluto is ruled by society needing to heal, moving to intuitively ruled society and culture once again, and driven, motivated by soul once again, the higher intelligence of love, of divine love, of divine truth, and compassion. And so compassion for the collective, the Saturn about compassion. So really interesting. Uranus, the other ruler of this Pluto change, with this sextile to Pallas Athena, our instinctual nature we use to create security rather than the mind and the old ways. And Uranus, the higher mind, the cosmic consciousness, and the sudden awakenings and epiphanies and downloads, with that beautiful sextile, that harmonic aspect to our instinctual wisdom of our intuitive feminine self. So it's the instinctual wisdom of the feminine that is ruling this planet shift into Aquarius, the instinctual wisdom of the feminine, like the Iroquois grandmothers that made anyone that wanted to go to war dress up in a skirt and bring empty corn husks into the circle to ask to go to war, so they could be reminded of the famine and the women and the children that would be left to be in famine while everybody was fighting. So, and it created peace for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. And so it's bringing back the wise woman's wisdom, the feminine wisdom that might not necessarily be associated with gender, but the wisdom of the feminine and the instinctual wisdom of the feminine to this new earth, Uranus and Taurus, that is ruling Pluto moving into Aquarius. And then society run by soul, the other ruler of this Pluto moving into Aquarius. So I think that really just is so beautiful and says it all. I hope that this served you. I hope this helped you. If you like this video, please like the video, and also to help me to provide a better sun sign horoscope for you. The sun sign horoscopes, you can watch your solar, which is your sun sign, the sign your sun is in, or you can watch your natal, which is the sign your rising's in. And if you watch them both, you'll get a nice consensus of what this new moon is about for you and what's going on here. And so I will be pulling a card for everyone. I hope that so also know that if you'd like to book an astrology reading with me, you can do that, thegoddessastrologer.com. It is a provocative transformation. I help Soulpreneurs heal the self-doubt, and so to listen to your intuition and move into your power, reclaim your power and your feminine voice and the ability to step into your highest intent and create the life that you want. So you can do that at thegoddessastrologer.com. And also She Alchemy is this beautiful space where we'll be doing some amazing coaching and learning the tools of dealing with your nervous system. So you will upgrade your self-worth and you will deal with the self-doubt so that you can step into next level visibility in your business, next level revenue, and to be in female community together with that. So if you'd like to join us in She Alchemy, look for the information for that coming soon. It is opening May 1st. So excited about that. So please subscribe to this channel. It's a growing channel. If there's anything in here that you think somebody else would find helpful, please share it with them. And then we're going to get into the sun sign horoscopes for everyone. All right, everyone. Going to go into the sun sign horoscopes for everyone. And let's pull this up. All right. So Aries, obviously this equinox is happening in your first house. You are the purebred of the zodiac here. And so identity, your personality, a rebirth opportunity. So the zodiacal new year, the spring equinox is always a rebirth for you. And it's a chance to really dismantle the things about your personality and your ego self that really just aren't serving anymore. Been a letting go process for a while with the sun having been in your 12th. And you're really looking for a lot more guidance when it comes to spiritual matters. This new moon is helping you to initiate the next upgrade of who you are, who you see yourself as, how you present yourself to the world, and the level of confidence, your next level of confidence in the world. It's here for you to grab. So Pluto will be going into your 11th house, all about your audience and your business, people, friendships, connections, collaborations. And this is going to be intensifying any wounds, any issues, and also breaking things down here that aren't serving you. A time of intensity with people. You know, everything that's not of love, every lesson you need to learn, everything that's in the shadow, all of the old wounds around people, issues of any sort, relationship dynamics of any sort, you're going to be going through for 20 years. And so this is going to be a massive time of growth and learning. And of course, Pluto comes with challenges, but it's only for the upgrade. It's give yourself love, be compassionate with this. But this is definitely Pluto moving out of your 10th house of your soulpreneurship, of being seen, taking up space in the world. That's what you've been going through for this last Pluto transit for a really long time. And now you're going to be going through this shedding and transformation in the area of relationship dynamics, people, friends, how you relate to others, your independence, standing in your independence, the gifts that you bring to the world. Are you bringing your gifts to the world? You learned how to take up space in the world. You dealt with all the shadow issues around that. And now are you bringing your gifts to humanity? So moving here, you have Cheroklo there, holding space there for you. A lot of healing, though, for you in this 11th house, though, that's been happening with a Scorpio here. You know, Mars will be moving into that 4th house on the 25th, and that will be moving into your house of foundation, roots, security, emotional seascape. Mars will be activating that area. And so those things will be present. They'll be on top of mind. So realizing this, and so let's pull cards for you, Aries. This card wanted to come up. External validation. So where are you making somebody else your source, seeking external validation, not listening to your own soul, and thinking that you need that to be approved of, or that you don't matter, or that you will be exiled or unliked or kicked out or won't belong? What is the issue there? So this card wanted to come up for you, the peacock. The peacock ingests poisonous plants and turns it into the beautiful foliage. So everything that's toxic and poisonous that you've gone through or been through or going through, you will alchemize into the beauty in your life, the gifts you bring forward, how you help others, and wisdom, soul wisdom that you take with you for a lifetime. And inherent wisdom is emerging at this time. Watch it and ready yourself for a rebirth with that, with the sun in and this new moon in your first house, pulling you a goddess card. What wants to come forward for Aries? Entrente, she who enfolds, swath, embrace self-care. And so really about enfolding into yourself. Her stance, her vibe, her energy is about this indignation of, I am here for me. I am taking care of myself. I come first. Know it, like it, get it. And that's her energy. And that's what it's calling for you, Aries. I haven't pulled from this deck in a really long time. They like to stick together. This deck really needs work done. All right, this card wants to come for you. Radical curiosity, seeing as if for the first time every time. And that's something that Aries is so good at. This card's really beautiful. I love these cards. And can you have that radical curiosity, being in life like the child that is in the wonderment of everything, and really activate that positive belief, that positive expectation of things going well, things going right, of you creating the dreams that you want. All right, Aries, so much love to you. Taurus, this new moon and this spring equinox happening for you in your 12th house, the house of karma, the house of this merging with soul, divine love, all that is the empathetic intelligence, and this dreamy being in the imagination and the other dimensions, this porousness, this psychic gifts, the abilities to work with energy and magic and enchantment. And so this new moon bursting, blooming forth here in your 12th house. This is a big new freaking beginning for you, Taurus. So amazing. And so just take this in, embody this, feel it, like just really believe in this amazing birthing of your connection to the dimensions, your gifts, your talents, your skills, who you are. This is a blooming. And also there may always be the provocation of some wounds and shadow. As Scorpio here in your 10th house is healing your business, healing the issues, healing the interference. And this Pluto will be moving into your 10th house. And this Pluto moving into your 10th house, the solar chart is business, your soulpreneurship, you're taking up space in the world, how you're seen. And Pluto moving here is going to intensify this, magnify this, and clear out everything that's not of love, everything that's not of the highest. So get ready for this clearing out. And it's hard when you maybe don't know what's not of soul. That's when it can get hard, or it can get hard when you don't want to let go of it. You know, Pluto says grow or die. So this is about massive freaking growth and transformation in your business, and as an entrepreneur, being seen in the world, being a voice in the world, being a leader. And so very, very beautiful. Can be quite confronting. This is a big one. This is deep meditation. You know, I would encourage some gathering inward with this time. You got Creator Earth and a protection message. And so grounding, embodiment is really important with this energy and with this new moon, particularly being in your 12th, where it's very mergy into, you know, whatever, like all of the, you know, the energetic intelligence, you know, the downloads and all of the being in the other worlds and in the enchantment and the magic. So ground yourself. Grounding. How do you do that? Just stomping your foot left and right. What are your ways? Shower, washing your hands, water. What do I see? What do I hear? You know, what colors are around me? Grounding. Let's pull you a feather card, Taurus. Ah, beautiful. The raven, magic. The universe is calling you to notice important synchronicities. Notice important synchronicities. So if you're already noticing so many, what are the ones you're not? And what's the symbolism? What's the message? Can you listen, get quieter and listen more and get off the mental plane? There's synchronicities coming that are really important for you. There's messages and symbolism to connect you more into your ability to read everything in the world is signs and symbols, and not all of the data is important to you in the moment, in any given moment, but the ability to know when, what. Pull you a goddess card, Taurus. Polaris, she who flies, dare, do, reach. This is an Aries card. So amazing. It's like dare, do, reach, bold, do it, get out there. You know, it's just, there's just no holds back. There is no holds barred, which if you don't know what that means, like in jujitsu, holds or in fighting, where, you know, it's like, there's nothing that's illegal here. We're allowing it all. We're allowing the kidney punch. We're allowing the back of the head punch. Anyways, she who flies, like, what is your big, wild, audacious life? You know, and look at her strength, her will, that solar plexus energy of just confidence and just this power, you know, just this fierceness, just this, like, I know who the fuck I am. See it, know it, get it. You know, it's like, it's just, she's just like, I'm here and I'm taking up space. What you gonna do? And that Taurus resourcefulness is that you can handle it. Inner life. So this inner life, meditation, grounding, gathering inward, listening inward. Your inner life is a garden to be cultivated. So everything in your reading is about the, you know, connecting to the higher dimensions and all your gifts and abilities, and doing that takes the grounding, the inner life, the confidence, the security within yourself, the willingness to allow for the unfoldment that's going to happen in your own beautiful divine timing. All right, Taurus, sending you lots of love. Gemini, new moon, spring equinox happening for you in your 10th house of your sacred calling, taking up space in this world, being seen, being heard out there, like reputation. And so new beginnings. What has been dying and falling away and clearing out and purging? This is the time for your highest intentions here. And you know, what's so beautiful is, let me just go to this real quick. You know, this new moon has these sextiles. I didn't really talk about it on the main reading, but has these sextiles uh to Pluto. And this before it changes signs in a couple of days. So this sextiles to what has been shifting in the world, what has been dismantled, what has been shown to you, what's been revealed, and all of the massive change, the destruction, the transformation that has happened in your ninth house of standing in your expertise, of adventure, growth, knowledge, the guruship, being the one that knows, being the expert, adventuring out into other worlds and other lands, publishing, which it can be in all forms. It might be print media, book or podcast or video, or publishing your dreams, publishing your opinion, publishing your voice, speaking it in the world. Whatever way you want to look at that symbolism of the ninth house there. And so there's this sextile, this energy of these harmonics that you reach for all of the transformation that you've gained here to bring this into this highest intention. In this new moon, there's a lot of healing for you. And I'm sorry, you know, Pluto's been in your 8th house. It's moving into your 9th house of everything I just said about publishing and the adventure and being the guru. So it's going to be moving there on the 23rd of this week, Thursday. And so then it's going to be giving you this massive intensification and transformation in that area of becoming the expert, the guru, the one, the leader, the one that's expanding, learning, growing, which takes lived life experience. And you are gathering the gifts right now, if you want to reach for them, of the 8th house, the sexual, procreative, creative life force energy that makes your life force energy strong enough to go through this ascension process. Everything that has come with sex and love and money and resources and receiving, all of the issues around receiving, 8th house, all of the issues around your gifts, your psychic abilities, and your connections. and so you're getting the gifts from that now. All right, Gemini. Okay, Gemini. Pull you a card. I didn't pull you a card yet, did I? I don't think so. Okay. Celebrate your wins. So focus on your wins, focus on the positive belief, the Aries, what you can do, what you have done. Can you get out of the wish I would have done better, you know, haven't done good enough, and get into the I'm really freaking proud of myself for everything I've accomplished in this world with these variables and these odds and so forth. And the way this world has functioned. And you got the Raven card, so this is coming up big. This whole reading, the universe is calling you to notice synchronicity. So what are you not noticing? What are the ones you're noticing? Be aware of that, because there's ones you're not seeing, and it's really looking at the symbolism. What's trying to speak to you that you're not realizing? And it's asking you to get quieter, to listen more, to hear, to not simply listen, but to hear. Gemini. This card came up, Consika, she who whispers, secrets, confessions, confidant. And what's funny is I just started talking about, you know, hearing, listening, and she's like, shh, to hear. What's being told? What's the being the confidant? What are the secrets being told? You're the one holding space. You're the one hearing, listening. There's messages. That's part of Pluto moving into the 9th house of being the guru, being able to hold space. It's a big skill. A lot of people don't really have that skill. Witnessing instead of trying to fix, you know, and knowing when to do what, especially as a coach, guide, healer. Wishful expectations. Acknowledge the smoke and mirrors in your life for what they are. And this is a pretty hardcore card. It's saying that there's some chicanery, some black magic, some manipulation going on in your life that you're not paying attention to, that just you have dreams the way you want it to be, promised futures that are never going to come true, never going to happen, and that you're just kind of throwing yourself to these Pisces fantasies that aren't realities and aren't going to happen. And acknowledging the smoke and mirrors. Everything that's charming is not gold. And so where is that happening in your life? Do you have a narcissist in your life? Do you have an abuser in your life? Are you allowing somebody that's, maybe it's not so egregious, but just microaggressions, not unkind, people taking advantage of you? What's going on there? So it's really stepping into your powerful, trusting your authorship of your life, your authority. All right, Cancer. I know I changed this one time, but whatever. Anyway, so Cancer, new moon happening for you, and what's happening? And I'm not doing a very good horoscope tonight anyway. Whatever. Okay. Sorry, guys. Too much shit in the chart. I told you I could not do math tonight. Okay, so I'll just put the chapters in. So Gemini, I was talking to you about your new moon in your 10th house. So I apologize. It's in your 11th, and I can't do math tonight, so I'm just doing it based on visuals instead of thinking about it in my mind. I have too much Pisces going on right now at the moment. So anyways, so your 11th house here, your 10th house is getting some healing, what's happening in your business, your visibility, taking up space in the world. And this new moon is happening in your 11th house of people, of collaborations, your audience building, of standing in your power in a big way with your relationships, relationship dynamics, bringing your gifts into the world, standing in the truth and the power of your gifts. And having had Pluto go through your 8th, really having connected with them for such a long time, going through destructions, transformations, dealing with all of the Scorpio type issues, dealing with all of the porousness of the 8th house, the wanting to merge, the too much energy, not knowing how to deal with energies and to protect your boundaries, and dealing with all of these types of issues, to now have Pluto going into your 9th, where you'll be, gaining your expertise and really being able to stand in yourself as the guru, the leader, the teacher. And so this connecting to this new moon, this rebirth of how you show up in the world, bringing your gifts for humanity, and in relationship dynamics and groups and collaborations and on stage and in your audience. So your cards were really hearkening to watching, getting quieter, listening more, and really getting out of any sort of difficult things, difficult situations that were not serving you. So, all right, Gemini, I hope that helps you. Sorry about the weirdness there. All right, Cancer. So this new moon's in your 10th, and Cancer, this for you has been a lot going on. It's this standing up into your power not being so concerned about this sense of security or safety that's built on externals, but rather finding that within yourself, knowing that you have that intuitive guidance moment to moment to moment, and allowing yourself to trust that. Can you trust that to let yourself be visible in the world, to take up space in this world, take up real estate, and to shine and to get into your soulpreneurship in a much bigger way? And this is a blossoming in your business, a rebirth in your business, a new beginning where there's been a lot of completions that have closed out, and it's time to move forward now. So there's a lot of healing that's been happening in your 8th house here, and a rebirth there of connecting to your magic and your gifts, and to your pranic life force energy, and to this ability to protect your energy. Pluto in your 7th house, you're going to take the gifts of this transit for so many years. Pluto's been intensifying relationships, destroying relationships, mucking up, churning all the stuff up that hasn't been of love, that's not for your highest soul growth in relationships. Lots of loss, lots of difficulty, challenge, things not going the way you want, etc. And now you're going to grab the gifts from that, the wisdom, the transformation in your relationships, and how you stand powerfully in relationships now. And Pluto's moving into your 8th house for the next 20 years. And so that is magic gifts, psychic connection, psychic gifts. And that is money, death, taxes, it's resources, it is receiving. Pluto is here to teach you about receiving, and that everything that's about receiving and magnetizing to you that's not of love and the highest version of evolution is going to have destruction coming around and going through the death and rebirth process, the burning off of the dross in these areas. Your sexuality is getting a massive transformation, your sense of your procreative self. So this is really beautiful and deep, and such a massive opportunity for you in this life. We have Pluto working with us in certain areas of our chart. We only get so many in a lifetime. And so these are the areas that where we have a lot of fire, but a lot of power. So this is finally claiming your Pluto power in your sexuality, in your psychic gifts, your connection to the other realms, and in your ability to magnetize to you and to receive, to be able to receive all that you desire. All right, Cancer. Let's pull you cards. So lead your metamorphosis. Don't let it lead you. You drive the car. You be the one that's managing your mind. You be the one that's working on emotional mastery. And if you don't know what that means, come into She Alchemy. You will learn those skills that we need to live in this new earth and go through this ascension process. Lead your metamorphosis, meaning that you're the one researching, looking, being aware, having the frame of reference for the processes you're going through instead of being the victim. Be in the empowerment place. This card wanted to come out. It's a crane. So you will soon enter into a beneficial partnership. Luck and longevity bless this union. So whether this is love, work, collaborations, friendship, you're coming into a beneficial partnership. Cranes, if you ever see them, they usually pair up and stay together, and you'll usually see them in pairs. They used to be in the city that I lived in, around all the neighborhoods. These couples of cranes would just live in the neighborhoods and be in the new grass when you'd walk around the neighborhoods. So You got Valeris. So this card's coming up a lot for people. She who flies, Valeris, do, dare, reach. So get out of your boxes, get out of wanting to feel comfortable and safe and secure. That should come from your intuition inside. Cancer is about intuition, feeling your emotions. What's the emotional data coming in, and understanding your emotions versus the emotional data that's just information that you don't have to judge as bad and take on as yours. That is a real, true advanced spiritual skill. We'll be working on that in She Alchemy. And so realizing that you have to get out there and make your mark, be in the world, speak your truth, speak what you know, see, hear, like say your truth, be visible. And as a Cancer, that can be a little challenging because the Cancer craves that behind the scenes, stay at home security, but that's false security, because the tornado can wipe you out, or the natural disaster can come through, or whatever can happen. It's a false sense of security, and you miss your whole life. You don't do anything adventurous, you don't really live, you don't have any experiences, and experience is how we get wisdom, lived life experience. So do the Cancer that is nurturing yourself and living off that intuitive wisdom. Circles. So you got the card of circles. Clarity begins in the eye of the storm. So a lot comes with this card. Circles of women gathering together, the tribe, the soul family, running circles. Your reading is all about you standing in your power and taking up space in this world. So running in circles, running a community, being at the helm, really stepping out into your leadership role, and also the power that you get, being resources to each other, women gathering together, and being in the eye of the storm, you being the one, in the eye of the storm is also where it's the calmest. And so it's that calm, centered, grounded presence in all of the commotion and all of the energy swirling. All right, Cancer, I hope that helps you. All right, Leo. So this full moon for you, not full moon, one of the moons, any of the moons, this new moon for you is in your 9th house. And I'm just going to do this to make my life a lot easier, since my math part of my brain is apparently turned off right now. So just get you out of there for now. Get out of there. And then we'll get you out of there. And we'll get you out of there. And that should help a lot. Get out of there. That's not helping. Come on. Oh, that's what I'm doing. Got it. Ugh. Give me 1 second, guys. Thanks for bearing with me. Just give me a second. It's going to make my chart easier for myself, since my brain is in an interesting place here. My brain does not have calculation abilities, arithmetic abilities, apparently, right now. Good thing I'll be putting chapters in this video. Yay for chapters. Okay, good. Done. All right. Going back, here we go. All right. Leo, so this is happening in your 9th house. And this for you, the 9th house is this place of growth, expansion, publishing. This is publishing what? Publishing anything that is of your creative work, of your soulpreneurship, of your copy, your social media, putting yourself out there more, publishing your heart, the stories about your life. People want to connect to the authenticity of other people's journey through life and what they've experienced and what they've gone through. And so there's a lot of this blossoming into this new Aries courage and positive belief of sharing your journey through life and your stories about your life with your audience, with the world, and publishing your Leo self-possession, confidence, belief, that light, that heart, that that energy of just being so self-possessed. You know, there's just this finiteness of Leo energy. And so this is this beautiful blossoming here. And Pluto, there's all these lessons here, these gifts from your 5th house of creative self-expression. So how has that been going for a long time, for this last period of time here? And so how has this been going since Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008, that your 6th house of, man, your 6th house of all of your life force energy, your lifestyle, you know, what are the lessons? What's the destruction that's happened to, you know, how you thought you had to live life, the details, the mundane schedules and routines, your health, healing, you know, what has been going on here for you? There's been a lot of transformation in this area of life, in being a mentor, your aunts and uncles and guides, this area of your life about your life force energy and your lifestyle. This has gotten massive transformation since 2008, and you are now retrieving those gifts, and really there's this big integration of this. And so Pluto will be moving into your 7th house of relationships. So this is 20 years to 2044 that you'll be seeing Pluto in your 7th house, where it's all about relationships, destruction, transformation, rebirth of relationships. And so what's been going on for you in relationships? Have there been a lot of heart hurts? Have you been reluctant to dive into relationships? Have you been guarding your heart? Because the thing about Leo is it's vulnerable to wear its heart on its sleeve. That's the beauty of Leo. The sun, you know, unless the clouds obscure it, it's always there. It's always shining. It's always there. And so it does have that vulnerability, but is that vulnerability wounded where it needs to be healed? Because vulnerability is not weakness, but it can feel like the fawn, the baby deer, you know, just predators anywhere and everywhere. And so do you have that sensitivity going on where it just simply needs time and compassion and love and healing right now? Can you let yourself have relationships be completely transformed in the next 20 years? Everything that's not of love is going to be removed for your highest soul evolution, and understanding relationships, relationship dynamics, partnerships of all kinds, your partnership to life, your partnership to anything in life, you know, food, etc. And this new moon in your 9th house is rebirth of publishing your works in the world, your creativeness in the world, whatever that is, whether it's publishing your identity, who you are, your opinion, your expertise, standing in your expertise in your business, standing in your power, standing as the guru, the teacher, the guide, owning your expertise. It's claimed. It's not given to you by a certificate or a piece of paper or a piece of shit or any of that bullshit. It is claimed. You claim it for yourself. You can get the piece of paper all day long, but that is false authority. That's not real authority. And people who rely on that, there's this ego smackdown somewhere in there. So, all right, Leo, I'm gonna pull you a card. Fill your cup with sacred giggles. So it's like, get into the laughter, get into the joy and the happiness, bring your vibration up. Yes, we have the low lows and the periods of time. We have to move through the shadow. We have to deal with the wounds, but it's saying like, how can you get into the laughter and the fun and the play? What are the things that make you joyful? What are the funny movies that really light you up? The good kind in reverse, you know, believing that you are the good kind, that you are the benevolence in this world, the light in this world. And, you know, some of the old movies are really funny and can bring a lot of joy. You know, the Ghostbusters, different movies, or ask for suggestions on Facebook. I'm sure people will give you hundreds of funny possibilities of movies to watch. How can you just get into that childlike energy and exploring, discovering, or do something really goofy and go to a children's museum or a butterfly exhibit, or what makes you light up and get into that goofy, playful space? You got white turkey, the power to heal the earth is within you. I don't know that I've ever seen an albino turkey. So really interesting. The power to heal the earth is within you. So what does that look like for you? Is that healing people? Is that making people beautiful? And so therefore it heals their self-image? Is it, how the earth is all of us humans on this earth. So in any way that that happens, is it your presence with people? Is it your heart? Pull you a goddess card. Orchid. She who thrives, flourish, prosper, and bloom. Love this card. I just love her makeup so much. One of my favorite cards. Orchid, like she who prospers and blooms and thrives, and being in that magic and living the wild, audacious life. What I talked about at the beginning of the video of imagining what you actually want to experience, because that's what you will experience. Okay, I'm gonna shuffle these better. You got the card circles, but I'm gonna shuffle them better. But if you want to take that card just in case it's somebody that needs to hear it, it's standing in the eye of the storm, being the leader, that new moon in your ninth house, being in the expertise, meaning being in the eye of the storm, being the one in the circle of all of the hoopla, all of the commotion, and being able to stand in that calm, grounded, self-possessed state. And that's such the beauty of the Leo, that can be in that self-possession, being on stage with all eyes on them, in that heart, joyful, vulnerable place of authenticity and the spotlight. And also circles of women. How can you get in circles of people? You're meant to create circles and be in them, and the resource sharing of the people within them, of love and compassion, all the different geniuses people have and bring to each other when they're in connection with each other. There's a big, heavy emphasis on relationships for you. And you got repair, making amends rather than fun times, reveals a relationship's true constitution. So this card is about the difficulties, the making the amends, like they are quilting this quilt together. And so it's saying like, yeah, there's the fun, amazing stuff in relationships, but it's the difficult times that actually is the true constitution of a relationship and tells you what's going on there. So just big emphasis on relationships. I hope that helps you, Leo. Massive changes for all of us this big week of March. Virgo. So Virgo, this Aries equinox, happy new year, in your 8th house of sexuality, of the connection to the other realms and your gifts and your abilities and magic, creation, magnetism, being able to receive, being connected to all the other dimensions. Like, can you receive? So this is a new beginning, completion of the old cycle of what receiving was based upon, or not being able to receive, or only if it was quid pro quo or whatever it was, to now being able to receive fully, standing your power, owning your deservingness, your worthiness, and that you should just get the gifts and have the things and have the havingness. So are you able to receive praise and approval? And so this is such a massive rebirth. The gifts from Pluto are in your 5th house of leadership, creative expression, children, and now Pluto will be moving into your 6th of life force energy, of your vitality, your schedules, routines, your mentorships, or being mentored places in your life. And the 6th house of Pluto here for 20 years. And so if you think of Pluto since 2008 in your 5th of the house of standing, believing that you matter, what is the massive destruction and transformation that you've gotten in your life around believing that you matter and that you have something to offer and contributing your gifts to the world, standing in a place of shining on stage and children and romance. And now Pluto in your 6th house of schedules, routines, healing, health, and embodiment, grounding, and organization, life force energy, lifestyle. What is the lifestyle that you choose, not what society said to do? So massive. Mars in your 10th house, this new moon is so related to your soulpreneurship and your business and taking up space in the world. This new blossoming of your psychic gifts and how you use them in your business and your magnetism there. All right, Virgo, let's pull you cards. Overrate your intuition, meaning get the hell off the mental plane, get out of your head. And being a Virgo, you have all that analytical energy. The Virgo, just wants to analyze, think. Get out of the mental plane. Realize that is the mental plane. It's a plane, and there's these multiple places, the etheric plane, so it's like, really get off the mental plane. You've got to have tools for managing your mind. And overrate your intuition, meaning that you emphasize it, you listen to it. It should be first. It should be foremost. Is that your compass? Got every piece of information and data that you need to know and more. And all of it that you don't want to know. That too. Kingfisher. So this little cute stubby bird, like a little stubby. Prosperity is flowing. Have faith that you will receive it in perfect form. So that Aries positive belief, Virgo, positive belief, positive expectation. I saw this great reel the other day that was so smart. Guy was like, I didn't expect my last post to go viral and blow up. And he pauses and then he says, and it didn't. It was so good. I'm like, oh, this is excellent. Positive belief that your abundance is happening, is coming in the perfect way, in perfect form, and that you have abundance already. Acknowledge the abundance you have. It might be an abundance of sparrows, but abundance is everywhere. We've been spelled into thinking that it doesn't just exist everywhere. You got orchid as well. So this, she who thrives. Are you in that thrive energy? Is that the energy that's activated in your body, in your energy field on a day-to-day regular basis? Are you in this energy? She who thrives, flourish, prosper, blossom. All right. I never pull cards from the top, but creative power. And again, new moon in your 8th, the procreative abilities, the birth, the transformation, death, birth, cycle. And she even has the snake, the mystery school, the continuous cycle, the circles, the cyclical nature, cyclical renewal. Release your alchemical energy into the world, creative power. So it's not always the literal birth, but it's a birth of your creative project, your confidence, your magic, owning your power, a new way that you're doing business. All right, I hope that helps you, Virgo. Libra, this new moon, this equinox is happening for you in the 7th house of relationships. So no more codependence, a bursting, a blooming, a new beginning in relationships. No more codependence, no more of all of the you putting other people first and not taking care of yourself, and you getting your sense of motherhood, sisterhood, partnerhood, love, feeling like you're approved of, or you belong, or you matter for what you do for other people, rather come to the relationship in this equal autonomous, independent person, Aries, to another independent, autonomous person, and these amazing partnerships of blooming and blossoming and being of help to each other, with Mars ruling that in the 9th house of publishing, expertise, standing in your expertise, standing in your guruship of life lived, the experience of life, the lived life experience, the expertise that you absolutely do have, standing in that truth and that knowledge and believing in that. Pluto in your 4th house since 2008, where is the destruction and transformation that you've experienced in 4th house? Family, your emotional seascape, your sense of security and groundedness, your roots of your who you are-ness. And now Pluto will be going into your 5th house of 20 years of a evolution of your creative self-expression, children, romance, could be the romance with life, could be the romance with your partner. And it could be the romance with your creative projects, and bringing your gifts to the world, standing on stage, knowing that you matter, owning that you matter. So this is a massive destruction and rebirth, cyclical renewal you're going to be going through for 20 years of owning that you matter, and that your creative gifts matter, and that you're bringing them to the world and birthing them into the world. So this may come with challenges. So realize that, but it's only the challenge to take away what's not serving your evolution and what's not of love, what's not of the higher part of your soul, Libra. So creator alchemy in reverse, this self-care message that you're the creator. Remember that you create. Since it's in a self-care message, it's saying that there's you're in the disempowerment. Maybe you're just going through a pocket or phase. Realize that that's a part of the ascension journey. We go through these phases. It's okay. Nurture yourself and know the frame of reference for what it is when you're going through it. Let yourself off the hook, get more rest, do the things that nurture you and support you and love you. And remember that you create your reality by what you're imagining. So don't let your imagination spin on shitty things. And realize you do have the ability to create what you want. 100%. You got the owl. Your intuition is correct. Follow your inner wisdom without fail. This is a really important message. Without fail. Follow your inner wisdom. I think that's pretty clear. Okay, this card just keeps coming up, and I'm, literally like it's in the deck. So Orchid, this thrive, she who thrives, flourish, prosper, blossom. How often are you activating this emotion in your body and feeling this and being this energy? Thriving, blossoming, blooming, being the one who's living the wild, audacious life. Okay, the card actually popped up. Ooh, Spirit Self. It's the first card, and be who you are as you are. I think the message is so clear. Listen to your intuition, be who you are, stand in your power, believe in you, thrive, come with that energy. The message is so clear, Libra, your authentic self, your spirit self. And she has this apple. It's the Fibonacci sequence, it's the golden ratio, it's the quintiles, it's the beautiful creativity and downloads from the cosmic field of all that is. And she's just like certain, she's here, she's present, and she's just, there's no lack of confidence here. All right, Libra, I hope that helps you. Hope that supports you. And Scorpio, new moon's happening for you in your 6th house, a rebirth, lifestyle, life force energy, connections to being a mentor or being mentored, aunts and uncles, issues there. This is a blooming in all of the day-to-day work and life and the details and the organization and the schedules and the routines and your health and healing. This is a rebirth in any of those areas of new life. What has come to a completion? What has come to a close? What is it time to allow the emotions to be unlocked so they can flow through you and release and heal completely, so you can have the lifestyle that you really want, so you can live the day-to-day schedule and routines that feel good, that are mutable, changeable, adaptable to this changing world and your changing energies and what you need, as sometimes you need more sleep, sometimes you need more play. Are you a fully resourced woman? Are you supporting yourself? And with Mars ruling this in your 8th house, it's all about connected to your psychic gifts and abilities in your day-to-day life. Are you following your intuition? Are you magnetizing and receiving help, receiving support, receiving love, taking all of the beautiful nourishment in, and being able to create and have the lifestyle that you want? With Pluto in your 3rd since 2008, you should have be able to see clearly this massive destruction and transformation that you've gone through of your mind, how you think, how you communicate to the world, processing information, maybe the intellectual property that you make, maybe in your writing or ideas, or in your local area of living, where you live in your environment, and maybe where you've moved to, or your relationship to that. And now Pluto will be moving in your 4th house of your grounding, your sense of security, safety, your inner intuition, getting your sense of security and safety from that, and your emotional seascape, your sense of your roots. And this is a 20-year transit that Pluto is going to be completely wiping out everything about your sense of security that's not of the highest expression of soul, which may be very challenging if you're not willing to allow for things to leave and be stripped away and go. If you're clinging on to things that are this false idea of safety and security, this will be challenging. So this is going to be a big test in being able to flow. And you are a water sign, and but yet Scorpio's fixed. So this is about flowing and letting the water flow, emotions flow, things to pass through, surrendering, allowing. That Scorpio feels so scared that it wants to control and survival. And you've got to be, instead of the scorpion hiding in the scorpion hole, be the phoenix that's rising and allowing for that destruction and fire of whatever ego identity you had before, or whatever version of yourself was before, to regenerate into the next version of yourself, regenerate into the next version of security, regenerate into the next version of running your life off your intuition. And that is what's going to really help you through this time. It doesn't have to be so hard and challenging, but our sense of security is really connected to survival. So it's like really digging into all your false ideas of security are going to help you massively with this. So probably I would recommend getting a coach, and starting to work through that, seeing where it hits you in your natal. Fill your cup up with sacred giggles. So this card is coming up a lot too. And it's like, how can you find the joy and the laughter and raise your frequency, especially when you are feeling good? Capitalize on that. Befriend the word polarize. Realize you're going to have the high highs and the low lows. It's okay. Understand what you're in when you're in it. Creator water, really allowing the emotions to flow. This is big time coming up for you, Scorpio. 3 cards for you. There's just some messages that really wanted to come up, and you got owl as well. Your intuition is correct. Follow your inner wisdom without fail. Pluto going into your 4th house is going to be a lot about that, where it is so much about your intuition. So wherever you are not following it, there's most likely going to be challenge. If you can remember that, that might be a guiding light for this next 20 years. The time is right to release old patterns and energies, Scorpio. You are ready to embrace change. You got this chickadee. It flew out for you. So you're just getting extra cards here that want to help and support you right now. So look at how much help and support is coming in for you. Moment to moment when you need it. Carly, she who frees, liberation, unrestrained, and freedom. where are you chained? Where are you holding yourself back? Where are you scared and letting fear run the show? Reset your nervous system, learn some tools and skills there. We will be doing that in She Alchemy, and come join us. There's so many ways to start regulating your nervous system, and so it's not having that fear response to everything. This card was shuffled in, but you got spirit self. It's come up several times, like, be who you are as you are. Be in this connection to the cosmic energies, the flow. This apple really represents flow and creativity, and really she's in this really centered stance of, I'm here, I'm taking up space, and I don't need to prove it. I don't need to talk about it. I'm just here present, see me, get it, deal with it. So I hope that helps you, Scorpio. And it's not about fighting. It's just really that sense of presence, believing you belong without somebody needing to affirm that this is your experience of the world. You belong, period. All right, Scorpio, I hope that helps you. Sag, this new moon for you is in your 5th house of creative self-expression. It's a rebirth here. Children, family, romance. There's a rebirth here. You should have probably felt a lot of completions and cycles coming to a close in this area of your life, and really kind of finalizing some holdbacks. This is like, where are you shining your gifts? Where are you stepping into your power? Where are you on stage? Are you thinking that you matter and that you're important? Because this is a rebirth in this area of believing you matter, thinking you're important. This is all related to Mars being in your 7th, about relationships. So are you looking for approval for someone else to affirm you? Yes, we do need that synergistic interaction and interplay, a call and response, but relying upon that or reliance upon it or needing it is different. Basing your sense of you mattering and being important and being special upon what others say, or on having relationships or people in your life, that is not what this is about. So it's really about being standing in this independence and this self-possession, standing in this belief in that you matter within your relationships, and that they play a big role in possibly really helping you to bloom the more love-filled and nurturing and positive mirroring that they are. Pluto, there should have been a lot of destruction and transformation in your 2nd house of how you value yourself, feeling valued, your self-love, your self-worth, and be understanding the resourcefulness of who you are, which may have meant that you've went through a lot of difficult life experiences to show you how resourceful and capable that you are, and the wisdom that you've gained. So you're probably getting a lot of gifts and have seen massive transformation there. Pluto is now moving into your 3rd, all about changing your mindset, your communication style, the way you think, maybe your intellectual property that you create in the world, and maybe the short trips and areas you travel locally, or how you stand in the world locally, and communities and so forth. So this is really Pluto here for 20 years, going to be transforming your mind. So is it going to be based off intuition and feeling? Is it going to be based off of love? I showed the map of consciousness earlier, and that will be where, when you're having challenges, those are the questions to ask, and that might help you navigate the next 20 years. This card wants to come out for you, Sag. What do you really want? X marks the spot, meaning that you can't get what you really want and know the direction until you know what it is. And also X marks the spot at something to connect to, focus on, think of, highest intention, but have many probabilities of how you get there. Don't do it a linear way. That's the old model that's dead. And how can you have many ways to get to that result that you're wanting? You got Starling. Now is the time to get out into the world and connect in authentic ways. And you're great at connecting. You're gregarious and happy and optimistic, Sag. And so, how you probably are doing that, but how are you not? Where are the areas where you are not doing that and holding back, or thinking that you are not capable of that, or where you're afraid to step into your next level of visibility in this particular group or this particular container with these people? get out there and step into your confidence and do it, man. You got Mora, she who hesitates, ponder, delay, confidence. So all about confidence. It's saying get out there, step into your positive belief, your confidence. The Aries New Moon, believe, expect the best, and know who to connect to and who not to. Doesn't feel good, get out. And you got to get the no's down so you can get to the yeses. If there's 10 people that are going to say yes out of 100, then you got to get through those 90 no's. So just be like, next. It's not a big deal. Don't take it personally. Why are you? How is that? Why is that showing up? What needs to be healed? And then you got weeping wound. You are not your wounds. So really being able to, do you have real techniques that heal? We do that in Alchemical Goddess, my coaching program. We will be doing that in She Alchemy. So do you have real techniques that actually heal the wounds and the trauma and the old shit and pain and challenge and loss? Because if not, then we're always seeing through that lens, and we're seeing through the lens of our wound, which makes us hold back and feel scared and stay small and stuck. So really beautiful for you, Sag. Lots of love. All right, Capricorn, this new moon for you, 4th house, it's a blooming of a new sense of security based on your intuition, listening to that, feeling your way through life, listening to those feelings, understanding the difference between feelings that are just information and data and the feelings that are yours that have so much other stuff with it that maybe you need to release them, heal things, understand what that's about, and really becoming masterful, this blooming of this new sense of your roots and your emotional seascape. So it's really a positive belief, stepping into your autonomy with your emotions, stepping into your autonomy with your sense of security that comes from inside, that comes from your intuition, your inner knowing, and the feminine energy. Pluto having been in your 1st house of identity, Capricorn, it's been since 2008 a destruction and transformation of your who you are-ness, your identity, your self-expression, your look, your vibe, the way you handle threat and issues. All of this has been going through a massive change and upgrade. So think about that and think how that's changed. It's now moving into your 2nd house where you're ready to have this 20 years of dealing with this complete transformation of your self-worth, your valuing of yourself, your being able to know how resourceful you are, which means live life experiences that help you gather the wisdom of knowing how capable you are. And this is money and abundance. So a massive transformation here and a massive stepping into power with money, power with your sense of self-worth, and power with your ability to handle anything and know that you're capable of handling anything that may arise and happen. Really beautiful and 20-year period of time in your life, manifesting and doing. So don't forget the manifesting piece, meaning that imagining, creating, dreaming. Do you have the positive use of your imagination? We've been so inundated with the negative use of it. So maybe it's a retraining of your imagination to believe again, to imagine the positive, to stop imagining doom and gloom scenarios and being afraid. You got duck. Ducks are so magical. And so you got duck. Find comfort and balance in simple ways. You have support all around you. So it's like, only if you can't see it, there's abundance everywhere. And that's Pluto in the 2nd house. Are you resourceful to see all around you how you have support? So this is a big week and a big initiation into this for you, Capricorn. So I think you're just going to have a massive soul evolution here. She who grants wishes, Alice, wish, desires, hope. And so it's like, you're the wish granter. You're the one that gives people hope. You're the one that helps people to reach their desires in your healing work, in your platform, in your soulpreneurship. She who grants wishes. How do you help people make their dreams come true? The Capricornian way, organizing, structure. So many people don't know how to do that. The wisdom of lived life experience. All right, Capricorn. Metamorphosis. So this is so apropos. power and strength lie within our surrender to change. So that may not be what you're very good at. Surrendering to change, Capricorn, is built upon structure, but realize that wisdom, which is Capricorn, high consciousness Capricorn, is wisdom, the wizened one, the learned one, the old, wise elder. I'd rather say like the wise elder. They understand the surrender when it's needed and when it's not, when to push, when to surrender, when to let go, and what the true definition of surrender is. Do you have an issue with the definition of surrender and how you're defining it? Maybe it needs a redefinition for you in your life. Sending you lots of love, Capricorn. Big things afoot for you. Aquarius, so massive new moon and a happy new year in your third house of mindset, your way you think about things. Is it coming from the right brain, the left brain? Is it integrated? What is the intellectual property that you're making in your life? How do you communicate? How are you seen and heard? How are you understood? How do you hear, listen, or actually hear? And so this new rebirth of your mindset, how you think, the neural pathways, the old ways. And so massive changes here with Mars in your fifth. It's all about how you bring your gifts to the world and stand in the truth that you matter and you have important things to say and speak into the world, and that you're making and creating your creative projects and expression and the works that you bring into the world, your gifts. And so really powerful new moon for you, that a mindset based on believing that you matter. Is that where you're at, or do you need to do some work there? Pluto having gone through your 12th house in the last since 2008, that massive destruction and rebirth of your connection to your power, of your connection to the highest empathetic intelligence, to clearing out everything that is not of your highest soul expression, that's related to past lives, and of your ability to imagine and create and believe and to be in the highest creativity. Pluto is moving into your first house. And so this is going to be a rebirth of the power of you, the power of your personality, harnessing your soul to stand in the world. This is a 20-year cycle where you're going to have a Pluto Sun conjunction. And it's this, Pluto is power, but it's also destruction and rebirth and transformation. So it's destroying everything that's not of your highest evolution. And it's with Pluto, it's like grow or die. So you're going to be asked to grow. And if you won't, things get destroyed. On my Pluto square Pluto, I had a horrible car accident. It's, things get destroyed if you're not willing to grow and to move into directions that first you get the whisper, then you get the knock, then you get the Mack truck. And so really thinking about that as in these 20 years. So this is pretty big for you, Aquarius, no joke. You're really going to build a relationship with Pluto, and Pluto's not bad or wrong, but it's intense. So get ready for an intense 20 years here. Stop, drop, and ground. I think this is perfect advice, because that Aquarius energy is cerebral. So then if you have more Aquarius energy in your chart besides your sun or your rising, or particularly if it's your rising, it's very cerebral, it's very thinking, it's an air sign, and you can be lost in the mental plane or use that as where you go all the time for whatever happens in your life, your autopilot. If you're challenged in some way, going off into the mental plane, and that's not going to serve you. It's like grounding into your body, embodiment, being on the earth and connected in. And this is what is going to help you so much, Aquarius. This card wanted to come through for you. The magpie, they're really common in Colorado. Reevaluate your priorities. It is time to let go of what you no longer need. So what does that look like? What do you no longer need that what are you clinging to? What are you holding on to? Is it memories, ideas, ways of thinking? People, clothes, possessions, belongings, ways of living. What do you no longer need, Aquarius? You got blue, she who loved once, fragile, secret love, rejection. And so there's some cleanup to do, some wounds to heal, some heart hurts that are coming up at this time and going in. Do you have real techniques that work to heal, to work with emotions? Do you have those skill sets where you're doing all of that in She Alchemy? I hope you will come join us May 1st. So powerful to be able to know how to handle any emotion that arises at any time and to not be thwarted or pulled off your game and step into your highest empowerment because of it. So inner life, your inner life is a garden to be cultivated. It's asking you to go inside, and that's going to be some of the best advice over these 20 years, to go inside and cultivate your meditation practice, that the inner world is the medicine for you, that connection to self, being able to ground, having these skills and abilities, being able to meditate and get out of your mind and into your feeling body, and really working on your life force energy. These are going to be really prescient, important things for you, Aquarius. I'm sending you so much love. Big things for you. All right, Pisces. So Pisces, massive healing in your 12th house. Past life karma has been going down, and this 4th house guided new moon for you in the 2nd house of self-worth, your resourcefulness of who you are, which creates that wisdom and money. And so this 4th house of security and a sense of safety, a sense of feeling grounded, your sense of rootedness within yourself, in the world, your emotional seascape, your intuition. So living your life on your intuition, your abundance must come and be driven by your intuition. And this is a rebirth. This is a new beginning in your abundance that's driven by your intuition, a new beginning in your emotions, and feeling your way through the world, instead of thinking. Whenever you're on the mental plane, get the fuck out of there, get into your feeling intuition place, which means cultivating that meditation, dropping in groundedness. You can be off in the dimensions as a Pisces, which isn't bad, but if you're not embodied, then you're not actually going to be able to utilize that information in the highest, like most serving way. And this is about abundance. So this is a rebirth in your self-worth, confidence, and knowing who the hell you are, that you are so capable, you're capable of handling anything, right? With what you've been through Pisces, it's like this positive belief in money based on your intuition, this positive, so not based on just positive belief for positive belief's sake, but based on your intuition, Mars in the 4th, based on your emotions, feeling your way through the world, sensing. Our emotions are the sensory data information always, but we have to separate them from our personal emotions. And that's an advanced spiritual skill. That's not something that most people even talk about, let alone teach. And so, and we're doing that in She Alchemy starting May 1st. So keep an eye out for that and come join us there to acquire that skill to create the abundance that you want to create in your life. This new moon is just such a blossoming into the abundance of life in every way. So it's a rebirth, it's a new beginning, and it's time, Pisces. This Pluto, think about your 11th house. What have you been going through? You should have seen a massive, since 2008, if you think about it, transformation, rebirth process, death and rebirth process of friends, families, collaborations, your audience, anything to do with people and relationship dynamics, bringing your gifts to the world, and everything you've done with that over this period of time, and how it didn't work, or what it was like. Was it based on status, money, power, control, affluence, and all of these distorted Capricornian ways? Because if it was, it wouldn't have worked for the last period of time since 2008, and it would have just completely have been destroyed, and you might not have been like, why does nothing ever work? And it's because of Pluto in the 11th. So it's now going to be moving into your 12th house, which is a massive connection to your power as a wizard, a spiritual guru, as a gifted one with energy and psychic gifts and being in the other dimensions and all of these abilities to connect to all that is, and that empathetic intelligence and the power, reclaiming your power once again of your gifts, of your creativity, using your imagination to create, and connecting to that empathetic intelligence of love and all that is, these other dimensions and other realms of spiritual gifts and energies and abilities, the power that you have in that. And it'll be a massive transformation of this. So anything that is not used for the highest will be destroyed, will not work, it will not be good for you. So I would keep on the high road and don't slip down the map of consciousness into the darkness, because it can happen. It's happened to many people that were amazing light beings. Even just in the last 3 years, I've seen it happen. It's really sad. Creative air, in a self-care message saying, get the hell off the mental planes, manage your brain. Do you have real techniques, pen to paper, that works to manage your brain and put it in the back seat, so that your brain that only knows chewed gum is not driving the bus of your life? You learn those skills in She Alchemy so that you can be in the empowered place of creating the life that you actually want, your big, audacious, wild dreams. What feather card wants to come up for you? Osprey, your success is now at hand. Allow the abundance to flow to you effortlessly. When I lived in San Diego, ospreys would sit on the light post in Ocean Beach, and I would drive down there to go to this, I don't know, where was I going? It wasn't Ocean Beach, but it was the same road I'd have to take. But I would go somewhere, and for a lot of days in a row, and always see the ospreys sitting up on the light post, and they're large prey birds. They're beautiful, really pretty birds. And it's saying, your success is now at hand. So Aries, positive belief, the unicorn in the zodiac, positive expectation, expect the good. Okay. So, ooh, you got a goddess card, Carly, she who frees, liberation, unstrained freedom. So are you freeing people from the programming, from the abusers, from the misunderstandings, from the confusions out there? She who frees. What a powerful place to be, Pisces. What a powerful woman to be. And what card wants to come forward from you for this deck? Radical self-love. So this is such an apropos card, Pisces. We can only receive love to the extent that we unconditionally love and live the truth of ourselves. But just make sure that you're not trying to get love from a narcissist, because it doesn't matter how much you love yourself, it'll never happen. So make sure that you are not in any dirty situations. But radical self-love of you, which means that self-love, it never stops. What is the next upgrade of self-love? And the next and the next. And so radical self-love of you, how do you give that to yourself? What does that look like? Because we talk about self-love all the time, but what does that actually look like? A big piece of it is not letting your mind dominate and run your life for you, which we humans are not practiced at. They become practiced at it, which you will in She Alchemy if you join us. And also with self-love is caring, nurturing, doing what you need. You should come first. No one else should come first before you. Really look at that. How much are you infatuated with some fantasy and putting someone else first? All right, Pisces, sending you so much love. Everyone, if you like this video, please like this video. If you saw something that you think could help a friend, please share it and shoot it out to them. I really appreciate it. This is a growing channel, and the more that you share and like it, the more it can get out there to more women, so that we can all come together in female community and rise together and help each other. I'm sending you so much love. And if you'd like to book an astrology reading with me, you can do that at thegoddessastrologer.com. Lots of love. Until next time.